And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of a brand new tournament of the American Starcraft Tournament. I'm, of course, your host, Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and my plushies as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to something a little bit different. Again, it is a brand new tournament series, question mark. It might become a regular thing. It is a new tournament bringing together players from Latino America and from the regular Americas as well. At least we try to. Looking at the bracket, it's filled by almost purely Latin American players. there's a lot of Latino Americans, which I'm not sad about. I mean, amazing players here, players that are near and dear to my heart. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. We have our first round ready. The bracket is finally live. I do apologize for the delays. I apologize for the delays. I apologize for the kind of rocky start, but we have now begun, and now we can get into the swing of things. We can embrace the bracket, embrace the series, and embrace all of the StarCraft. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. Switching our scenes over, we can have a look at the bracket for a moment here. I do have to update the link to the bracket itself. But again, if you're familiar with the CranKy Ducklings, then you should be familiar with a lot of these players from the top. Let's go. Hold on, I need to make this a little bit bigger. From the top, we have Cinder versus Tavo in the first round. Tavito, papi, Tavo, of course, he's the Peruvian Terran player up against Cinder, the Chilean Terran player himself. In the next round, we have Kamikaze, the Brazilian Terran. That's a lot of Terran. So a lot of TVTs going on up there. Scrolling down, we have Neo, the ex-CranKy Duckling, El Padrino himself, who I believe is about to graduate as a lawyer. Neo, he's like in his final months of his degree, of everything that's been going on. Sorry, just messaging some of the players. And up against him, Cristiano Ronaldo, papi. Let's go, the Chilean Protoss player. I've casted on this channel with Cristiano in the past. I think I've even casted with Neo, actually. I think I've had them both on, respectively, in different kind of scenarios, in different tournaments. I have casted with both of them. They're both near and dear to my heart, and they're facing off against each other, so we have to cast Cristiano. We have to cast Neo. I mean, there's no other choice. No other choice. So they're going to be facing off the first round. They're good friends, of course, as well. Practice partners and teammates currently as well. Scrolling down, we have Eon up against Slayer Marine in the next round. I'm unfamiliar with Slayer Marine. Eon, of course, the Costa Rican Zerg player. I do have faith. I do favor Eon coming into the next round. So following Neo versus Cristiano into Eon is my ideal. But best of luck to Slayer Marine. Again, I'm a little bit unfamiliar with him as a player. Best of luck. Scrolling down, we have Ryojin versus Ire in the next round. Ryojin, of course, the Protoss player from Bolivia, if I remember correctly. I believe it's from Bolivia. We'll have to double check. Scrolling down, we have Mike versus Ninja. We have Facebooka versus Luciano, and Inexorable versus Rescue. Oh boy. I have high hopes for Inexorable. Fala galera. I saw some Inexorable fans in the chat, and I believe that Inexorable has a lot of potential to go far. Do you think he has a lot of potential to go far in this bracket as well? Inexorable, of course, the Brazilian Terran player. Rescue, of course, from Chile. I think Rescue is a Protoss. It's been a while. I mean, it's been years since I've casted Rescue. It's been a hot minute, so we'll have to double check that as well. But Inexorable, he's up against Rescue, of course. Facebooka, believe in Protoss, if I remember correctly, up against Luciano from Chile. So yeah, a lot of Latin Americans here, a lot of amazing players in the first round. If you're maybe unfamiliar, all these players are GM, of course. They're all GM. There is a cap. There is a MMR limit here on this tournament, I believe 5.8k, so this is going to be excluding players like Cham, players like Eric, players like Kelazur, players like Special. So the top of the top Latin American players, the very best, they are excluded from this event, and this is for the players just below them, essentially. So yeah, I do always appreciate this. I always champion these events that are designed to give some of these slightly lower tier players a chance to perform, a chance to improve, and a chance to earn some prize money as well. It's a way to flourish the scene, it's a way to grow it, it's a way to incentivize improvement as well amongst these players. Oh boy, so yeah, we always do champion that, and yeah, we're going to be soon diving on in. We have our first series. Again, it's going to be Cristiano versus Neo in that first round, in the round of 16. And when it comes to the format of the tournament, best of threes up until the finals. Finals will be a best of 5, and we should be covering both semifinals as well, going for the upper, then the lower semifinals, then into the grand finals, or like whichever semis is initially ready. So that is going to be the plan. Shout out to all the other language casters as well. I believe Enki el Hermoso, papi. Enki is going to be casting in Spanish, of course, and we'll be joining up with Enki later on. There are some other Spanish casters as well. I believe Pacheca over at her channel is going to be casting alongside some others as well. So a lot of coverage, a lot of StarCraft, a lot of casters getting involved. I believe it's Pacheca, Artegario as well, alongside Enki, alongside ourselves. Here we go. Just catching up. But yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good to see you all. See Satsuna in the chat. Babylings, welcome. I saw base restarts as well. Soundo. The Zerglord. Oh my god. Where are you, papi? Where are you? We're here like every day, my friend. Hello, Heisenberg. Hello. Of course, we're live every day. For 4 years, for 4 years. All the StarCraft. But the Zerglord, why aren't you in the bracket? I just saw you in the chat. Really cool to see you. Fun fact, there were some people asking about the Zerglord. For those who don't know, the Zerglord is a Brazilian Zerg player. He was a competitor for a very long time. He was so close. He was on the edge of like breaking into the upper echelon of those top players in Latin America. I mean, he was one of the best. And the Zerglord, he retired for a while. Don't get invited? No, they were asking for you. Cristiano, Neo, they were all asking like, yo, where's the Zerglord? Yeah, I don't know if you're still playing, but yeah, the Zerglord, he hasn't, I believe you haven't competed in a while. You haven't competed in some time, but maybe for the next one, if you're interested, we'll bring the Zerglord on. Bring him on. We need some more Zerg players. Papi, there's too many Terran and Protoss. There's too much Terran and Protoss in the bracket, Papi. We need some diversity. We need some Zergs. Like, Eon is carrying everything. Is Eon like, I think there's like 2 Zerg players in the bracket, 2 or 3. They're outnumbered, Papi. They need you. But a shout out to the Zerglord. Player we've casted many times in the past. Many times. So just catching up. CranKy should have a Warhammer 40k tabletop team. That sounds very expensive. That sounds I've been interested, like I've definitely been interested in Warhammer 40k, like the game itself and playing, but like there's a very high bar of entry when it comes to purchasing miniatures and painting as well. It's all very expensive. It's not gonna happen. The dream, though, the dream. But here we go. Looks like our vetoes are done, our players are ready, and we are jumping into our first best of 3. And if you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open. Best of luck. Best of luck. Best of luck. See Tater Tutor as well. Hello. Even more expensive. Yeah. God no. I'm not playing competitive anymore, but if someone invites me for tournaments, maybe I'll accept. Okay. We'll keep that in mind. And here we go. We're jumping into our first series of our brand new tournaments of the American Starcraft Tournament, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Peruvian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Infernales Esports. It is Neo. I'll fix up his name. I'll fix it up. Okay. God damn it. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Chilean Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Infernales Esports, as well as this is a team kill. It is Cristiano. Ronaldo, Papi Ronaldo. Here we go. Hold on. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. I'm a little bit biased towards both players, I'll be honest. I'm biased to both. Good friends and good people, the two of them, of course. Again, they have both casted on the channel in the past in English. And but what I will say, putting my biases aside, especially because Neo he's one of my many children, is an ex-CranKy Duckling. Cristiano is a little bit more informed. Neo, for those who are unaware, Neo, he has been in law school for the past couple of years, and he's about to graduate. I think he's a couple of months off. He's like getting ready for his like final exams and final assessments at the end of the year. To eventually become a full-fledged lawyer. He is the CranKy Ducklings lawyer, if you will. But because of that, it does take up a lot of time. He has very little free time to actually ladder and actually compete. So I would assume that Neo's not at his best form that he otherwise usually is. Neo's a good player, don't get me wrong, but as of recently, he's been, you know, hard at work. So I do give Cristiano the edge, but we'll see. We shall see. As Cristiano is going to be a little bit cheeky here, initially opening up with a Gate Cyber Expand, standard opener out of Cristiano. Meanwhile, Neo opening up Double Gas. Now, if you're familiar with Neo, you would know one thing. Neo, he had a bit of a nickname, La Tortuga, papi, or El Tortuga. Regardless, turtle. Mech is a big thing that Neo does. Fun fact, for a very long time, Neo would play on a laptop on like 20 FPS. And I remember asking him once, like, mate, why do you play so much mech? Like against Zerg, against Terran, against Protoss. And he's like, papi, my laptop dies if I have too many units on the screen. Like, he literally cannot like control and micro like mass marine without his PC like breaking on him. So for a long time, and I'm unfamiliar if he's gotten a new PC since, it's been a couple of years, but for a very long time, Neo would embrace purely mech in all matchups because of certain limitations. I'm curious if that is still the case. We'll see. Again, it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since I've casted Neo like properly. It's been a while. So I'm happy to see him here once again. And we'll see what he embraces. As for now, it's going to be a 1-1-1. 1-1-1. We have initially Reactored Reaper, not Reactored Reaper Hellion. Reapers are on the way to apply some pressure and some damage, that's true, but only 2 Hellions for Neo. Interesting. Behind this, we have our Tech Lab on the way. This could be for Banshee Tank for an add-on swap. Speaking of, there it is, the add-on swap is on the way. We'll see if we embrace Banshee production or if we go for Ravens instead. Meanwhile, across the map, we have Cristiano opening up with Blink. Twilight Council is done. Gateways are being thrown down. It's going to be 2 Gate Blink for the time being. 2 Gate Blink into a 3rd would make a lot of sense here from Cristiano. We'll see if he throws down a 3rd or 4th gateway. Doubles down on 2 base aggression. We shall see. As Heli Reaper does poke in, KDA charges can knock the Stalkers out of the wall, but nice control from Cristiano. He does avoid the KDA charges. Behind this, it is Banshee. So we assumed it would be Banshee, could have been Raven, but Banshee tank is on the way. This is very meta nowadays, very commonplace, even amongst the Korean Terran players. So we'll see how Cristiano can keep up and measure up to this opener. Again, we're going to have tanks on the low ground, or tanks initially with the main army to push out, Banshees to harass across the map. If there is no detection, these Banshees can get a lot done. Meanwhile, we were waiting for the extra gateways. It isn't 2 Gate Blink, it is 4 Gate Blink Stalkers. That's a lot of gateways. That's a lot of aggression here from Cristiano. A lot of Stalkers going to be available, and with this, Cristiano is going to be able to skyrocket ahead here when it comes to a Stalker count, and can shut down and even be aggressive himself. So a very, very aggressive start here from Cristiano. We'll see if Neo can read this. For the time being, he's in the dark. For the time being, Neo, he's not fully aware what's going on. He has not checked the main base yet. He's in the dark as to how aggressive Cristiano is about to be. But now Stalkers will force back the initial Reaper Hellion. Neo's going to be pulling away. Behind this, building up more tanks. The first Banshee, I believe, soon to arrive. Yeah, the first Banshee rallied towards that natural. But there is a robot. Do we have detection? We do. There is an observer. Observers across the map, not back at home. Now, Cristiano, he can recall this observer back home. It's possible. Poke is activated. The Banshee does hit the natural. And probes are going down. Do we recall? Looks like we will. Yeah, the observer does meet up with the Stalkers. Probes are falling. And where's that recall? Uh-oh. Cristiano, he's committing. Never mind. He's committing across the map. He warps in an extra wave of Stalkers again. He's got 8 Stalkers on the front lines. The observer has arrived, and can we defend? We have 2 tanks in position. We have tanks, but no bunker. And a handful of Marines. And Cristiano, he goes for the dive. Goes for the main base, going for the tank as well. Ooh, takes some big volleys though. Yeah, massive tank shots, and Cristiano is losing a little bit too much. The tank does go down, but that was a hefty loss for Cristiano. Meanwhile, across the Banshee kills everything. Oh my god. 17 probes. 17 workers go down. Cristiano, he's all in. It's all or nothing for Cristiano. Meanwhile, back at home, there's 1 tank to hold on. The boys are being pulled away. SCVs are falling. But Neo, he still retains most of his workers. Another Banshee has arrived, but we have detection. Even with Cloak, doesn't matter. The Observer is here. If we could have sniped the Observer, that could have been game. We get another tank. Another tank does go down, and Neo here overextends. The Stalkers are getting very low, though. They're so battered, they're so bruised. Another Stalker goes down. We're down to 4. Down to 3. 3 Stalkers left. Cristiano is forced out. Meanwhile, across the map, the Banshee's still wreaking havoc. We have Reaper Hellion. Now we have the recall, but it's too late. The damage has been done. Oh my god. Almost killing a gateway. Double Banshee into the main. And Cristiano is down to 19 workers, barely an economy. Barely anything left. GG gets called, and Neo will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, Cloak Banshees can be really annoying to deal with, but Cristiano made a choice. Remember, winding it back, he made a choice. Cristiano, he had the option to recall, but because Cristiano had opened up 4-gate Blink, that is typically an aggressive opener, and he wanted to make use of it. He was thinking to himself, okay, I might be losing workers, but maybe I can just straight up kill Neo. Blinked into the main, and wasn't able to do enough damage. If you remember, it took like 3 volleys to kill the tank. That first tank of Neo survived so long, got so much damage off. By the time the tank died, I want to say Cristiano lost like half his Stalkers. Like a good chunk of his Stalkers went down, and he just didn't have enough momentum, didn't have enough army left over to keep the all-in going and to kill Neo. Just was not enough. In the end, GG, Neo takes the first game. Cristiano, in a way, punished for his overconfidence, in a way. I think I would kind of lean in that direction there, where maybe he was overconfident that he wouldn't lose enough at home, or that he would be able to kill Neo. It was a tough call to make. In the end, wasn't the best call. And now we're getting into game number 2. Jump into game 2 on site Delta. We go. Catching up in the chat. Base race. Kind of sad that a lot of GMs have slow access to old PCs. Yeah, it is an issue, especially in like I would go as far as to say, you know, some poor areas in the world where, you know, it's not as easy or as feasible to, like, you know, afford like a proper gaming rig or a proper gaming PC. Is unfortunate that at times that does occur, and that's like a limitation in a way that's like outside of your control when it comes to how much you can improve and how much you can get better. Fun fact, a bit of a fun fact before I introduce the players. Neo, even his internet is a little bit shaky as well, and I remember that that I actually helped him stream once. What happened was he didn't have the bandwidth to necessarily stream to Twitch. So what happened was, I believe he Discord streamed on lower quality to me, and then I screen captured his Discord stream, and then I streamed to his Twitch channel. And I like muted myself, but I remember doing that video once as well. The shenanigans, Bobby, the shenanigans. But here we go, we're jumping into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of site Delta, we have our red Protoss player. We have our red Terran player, the Peruvian Terran representing Invitational Esports. It is Neo. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Chilean Protoss, the purple Protoss representing Invitational Esports. It is Cristiano. Let's go. Here we go. And personally, I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 3. Again, game 1 was in a way decided by the Cloak Banshee, and we didn't really get to see a proper back and forth between Cristiano and Neo. That's what I want to see. Show us what you got. As this time, economic opener, CC on the low ground here. As Neo, yep, the CC has been thrown down. So remember, last game it was double gas into a 1-1-1, into a faster factory, faster starport, into Cloak Banshees. This time, only one gas geyser. More economic start here by Neo. Delayed factory, delayed starport. So more economic, less tech heavy this time from Neo, which means we will most likely be headed in a different direction. Meanwhile, across the map, Cristiano, standard opener, gate, cyber expand, everything looking normal from the side of Cristiano. You can see he's scouting around the map here, and I'm curious if he's looking for a proxy or planning for his own. Okay, scouting. Never mind. When it comes to these two as well, again, they're both good friends and practice partners, and they're also teammates currently as well. They're both on Infernales. So because of that, I'm sure that there's a bit of metagaming going on, and it wouldn't surprise me if Neo has proxied Cristiano before, and specifically gone for something crazy like proxy Starport with like a Hellion drop, for example. As that is a second Rax. Okay, I see you. So, what is intriguing about this build here from Neo, initially it was economic, and now we're following this up with a delayed Starport. That is a second Rax. If we throw down the third Rax before Starport, this could be the beginning of an all-in. This could be the beginning of a big two-base all-in here. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Bomioja in the chat. Papi ga. Thank you so much, Bomioja, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Bienvenidos. Annyeong haseyo. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the CranKy Ducklings, and welcome to the American Starcraft Tournament. I see Lunacy in the chat, someone asking, is this tournament only for Americans? This is an invitational tournament. Invitational to North and Latino America. So both the North and the South. Most of the players are Latin American, a handful of American players, but again, it wasn't invitational, and yeah, just for those that are curious. Likewise, it's also an MMR cap as well. I believe there's a 5.8k MMR cap for those that are curious. But we're selling it. But hello, Lunacy, hello. Even knows every language. I swear, yeah. I have to make sure you understand me, papi. I have to, saranghae. Ay. As we are settling in. That is a third Rax, by the way. So I mentioned if we saw a third Rax before the Starport, we're leading towards a two-base all-in. There's that third Rax. We're massing up Marines, massing up tanks. Stim is on the way, and we might even decide to pull the boys with this. We'll keep an eye on Neo to see how committed he is, as I believe we're cutting SCV production. No, we're making more. So we'll see how committed we want to be with this move out. Meanwhile, across the map, Cristiano, he is going for an interesting opener himself. Okay, it was a Twilight Council opener, but Blink straight into charge only off of 2 gateways, so something a little bit more economic here. Cristiano, he's going for a faster third. Remember last game, it was 4-gate Blink. This time, only 2 gates. Only 2 gateways into the third base, but this is a third after Colossus production. So before he threw down the third base, he did tech up into a bay, into a forge and +1. So a bit of a delayed third base just to be safe and secure, which means we will have at least 1 Colossus for the push. And here comes the push. We're moving out across the map. Colossus should pop out just in time. It's going to be close. And do we have shield batteries? We have a shield battery at the natural. No, there's a shield battery on the way at the third base as well, but it needs some time to really get going. And do we pull the boys? We don't. But still very committed here from Neo. That's a lot of Marines, a lot of tanks, and we have Stim. So Cristiano, he is in a bit of trouble. Neo moving out across the map. He's being delayed. Again, so far so good for Cristiano. He needs to try to slow this down, pick off Marines, pick off tanks before the army gets within range of the base. So far so good. We got how many? We got 4 Marines. Ooh, big swipe going off as well. Yeah, the first tank is going to go down. A nice pick off here from Cristiano, but the tank volleys, they go off. Big connections here on the Colossus. But again, we're sieged up a little bit too far away, and Neo, he sees this, doesn't like what he sees, and he backs off. If Cristiano had gone for a faster third base and a delayed Colossus, that could have been game. That could have been game then and there. Thankfully, because we prioritize Colossus production, Cristiano survives. Cristiano, he holds on, he survives, and with that, Neo, he packs up, he gets the hell out of here, and now I have to give the edge to Cristiano. He survives the aggression, he's getting his third base up and running. We have +2 on the way as well. Cristiano's looking solid, and Neo, that move out, had to do more damage. This third base, it was delayed. The third base, the medevacs, everything was delayed in favor of that move out. Now, thankfully, Neo did preserve a lot of his units, right? Like, a lot of the army did survive, so we can build up and get ready for another move out, for another push. But another tank goes down! Oh my god, another tank gets sniped! There's one left! And that's the backwind of the army! Oh, the force fields are brutal! Oh my god! We locked down the army, we shut down the bio! And Cristiano, he's just having his way with it. Get out of here, papi! Ah, Cristiano, calm down! But Cristiano, he has so much momentum, catching up the army, and honestly, he can try to keep pushing. It's going to be difficult pushing up the ramp. There's still that one tank to worry about, but if we can snipe that tank, then Cristiano can snowball out of control. The Prism should be on the way, then we can reinforce with charge ults. Remember, charge is done for Cristiano. Meanwhile, in the main base, Neo, he's working on the third TC, but he's contained on 2 bases. And honestly, that's all Cristiano has to do. He's going in! Oh my god! He has no fear. He gets one. He gets both tanks. Both tanks do go down. Where are the reinforcements? Cristiano. Oh, Forza Rico. No! Forza Rico and 1, 2 Colossus go down. Where was the prism? I was about to say that without Zealot reinforcements, we can't really push in. And Cristiano, he gets punished. He gets punished for it in the end. No War Prism to juggle, no Zealot reinforcements. And now suddenly, everything swings in favor of Neo. Oh boy. We have it back and forth. Colossus does pop out. It's routed across the map. Come back home. We need you. Cristiano. Okay. He does pull back. He pulls back the Colossus. It's exposed. He dives in. Neo goes to the dive. Colossus in. Oh my god, the pickup. Hot pickup here from Cristiano. He saves the Colossus. Does save it. Shield battery goes down. No overcharge. There we go. Backup shield battery is back, or is now up and running. Temple Archives goes down, and Neo, he's pushing in. Barely out of range. Still just the 1 tank. But Papi, 1 tank is all you need. And now within range of the Nexus. Behind this, Neo's getting his third base up and running, rallying across the map. And Neo, ooh, he barely does not get the Colossus. Once again, good juggling here from Cristiano. Saves the Colossus. Sen Colossus has arrived. With 2, we can hold on. The Nexus taking a lot of hits. We're pulling the boys. We go for the dive. Tank is going to be targeted down. And Cristiano, he should be able to hold on, but not without losing so many probes. Yeah, 7 workers go down. A brutal loss for Cristiano, but he's on 4 bases. Soon to be on 4 bases. Yeah, that was a big economic blow. And Neo backs off. Neo, he backs off. I mean, without any more tanks, he has lost a little momentum. He has to retreat, build up his army, consolidate, and move out once again. See Neo scanning, gets eyes in the army, 2 Colossus. This is still pretty close. It's been a chaotic game, very back and forth. We're back in this. We're okay. I see password in the chat. Los macacos. Calm down, papi. Calm down. Este password. No mames, papi. No mames. Ay. Good to see you again. Good to see you. Ga, papi, ga. Bienvenidos. Te extrañé, papi. Te extrañé. As the initial Marine gets across the map. Gets eyes, confirms lack of saturation here. And yeah, invitational. For those who don't know, Password, he's a fellow player. Like, Password, he's familiar with these two, with Neo and Cristiano. Este Password. Cálmate, papi, cálmate. Oye, next time you play, next time. El próximo. Here we go. Oh, Cristiano pushing forward, up to 3 Colossus. Tanks a little bit late to siege. And Prism is going to be targeted down. We can't juggle, not anymore. Prism goes down, but the force fields are brutal. Oh my god, we locked down the army. The Marines, they crumbled before the Colossus. But Cristiano does lose the first Colossus. 1 Colossus goes down. Those 2 tanks are doing a lot of damage to the back line. Neo is barely holding on. Meanwhile, that 4th base from Cristiano, it's getting up and running. It's getting fully saturated. Cristiano, economically, he has recovered. Did lose 7 probes earlier, but is now building back up. And Cristiano, he's now not just relying on the Colossus, now Storm. Storm is almost done as well. Do we have Ghost? And before I even talk about the Ghost, I'm impressed. Neo, earlier, if you remember, I was talking about how Neo often plays mech, and he's been limited to playing mech more often than not. Bappy, he's playing Bio. Let's go. You know, I'm gonna ask him after this game, or after the series. I'll reach out. I'll ask him if he's on a new PC. We'd be happy to hear. For now, dipping in. Oh, is trying to dip in, but the first tank once again gets caught out. The other tank's a little bit exposed, and yeah, they're a little bit too far forward. 3 tanks go down. Mass Viking will clean up all the Colossus, but we have Storm. Storm is done. And there's the first Storm. A massive connection on the Marines, on the Marauders as well. And GG gets called. Cristiano, he breaks on through and ties up the series 1-1. GG, GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Cristiano does tie it up 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Going to game 3. Catching up. Thank you so much for resubscribing. So it was in the middle of the game, so I was a little bit preoccupied. Comsietor? Come. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 3 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you, thank you. Light pillar of SC2 scene. Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Gomesotor. Thank you. Just catching up. The vehicle with gun is busted. True. I just saw in the chat. Hi, no soy Pobla. ¿De qué estás hablando? Te veo en el chat. Dark Sound and Miraclent. For those that are curious, as to the meme that's going on right now, a couple of minutes ago, like 14 minutes ago, two people entered the chat saying hello, Pablo. There's a Chilean Spanish caster. There's a Chilean Spanish caster called Pobla. He's pretty popular. He's pretty popular on YouTube. He has his own channel. He does a lot of casting, and apparently we look alike. I saw a picture of Pobla. Not really. Not poquito. We look similar. We have curly black hair. You know, we have similar complexions. You know, we're both Latin Americans, so that's why. But we don't look like brothers. We don't look alike. What are you saying? Payasos, papi, payasos. Catching up in the chat. Oh, thank you, Rudolph. Yeah, thank you, Rudolph. Thank you for Twitch Prime. Thank you. I appreciate it. But here we go. We're jumping into the ace match. We're jumping into game 3 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have... Ooh, I should fix up the nameplates. Un momento here. But spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Peruvian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Infernales Esports. It is Neo. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Chilean Protoss player, the Purple Protoss, representing Infernales Esports. It is Cristiano. But thank you, Rudolph. Thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. We appreciate it. Awesome casting. Gracias. Appreciate the support. It's thanks to the support that we get on the channel that we're able to do this as often as we do and fund our events and, you know, invest as heavily as we do into StarCraft. So thank you. Do appreciate it. Enjoy your emotes. We have plenty of lovely duck-related emotes in the channel. And likewise, if you're interested, you can join our Discord server as well, as we do also post replay packs from events that we do cover, that we have permission to share, of course. Events like OC King of the Hill, like Kung Fu Cup, Sparkling Tuna Cup. So if you're interested in replays, we got you covered there. If you want to use them to help improve yourself or just watch some games on your own. Replay packs are there if you're interested. Otherwise, we're settling in. We are going to be settling in. And now we did see quite a wide array of builds so far. We saw Cristiano be more defensive earlier and had more success. I say that last game was still very chaotic. There was still a back and forth going on where Cristiano overextended and Neo overextended and then Cristiano overextended. It was crazy. It was beautiful. And we'll see how it all comes together here. We'll see how the story ends. As once again, economic opener. Single gas here from Neo, so going for a Rax expand into a factory. We saw last game that this led into a faster second and third Rax, into a very committed 2-base push, borderline all in, which didn't quite kill Cristiano, but did maim him. Meanwhile, Cristiano himself Neo scouting towards the top right, making sure there's no shenanigans going on, making sure there's no proxy Twilight Council, no proxy Stargate, and Cristiano did opt once again for a standard opener into a Twilight Council. Now, every game so far, Cristiano has gone for a Twilight Council opener of some kind. Game 1 was 4-gate blink, Game 2 was 2-gate blink into a Bay, into a third. Game 3, we'll see. We shall see how many gateways get thrown down if Cristiano wants to be aggressive, defensive, or economic. How many gates, Papi? How many? The wild card would be Dark Shrine. Like Twilight Council into a Dark Shrine would be insane. But we have been seeing that a little bit more often as of late. As we can see, okay, just blink. No Dark Shrine, no Invisible Man. So blink is on the way. Meanwhile, Stalker dipping in. It is going to be reactor to Hellion production here out of Neo. Interesting. Okay, just the one Reaper into Reactored Hellion, which means, are we setting up for a Hellion drop? Interesting. As additional Hellions are on the way, getting up to 4 Hellions. Add-on swap is upon us. And back at home, Cristiano does throw down a second gateway into a rope. Oh my god, oh, I was curious. And here he is. He has reached his final form. Remember earlier I was talking about how Neo, for a very long time, and even potentially currently now, does rely upon mech more than anything in every single matchup, for various reasons. That is a second and third factory. We're meching it up. Oh boy. Mech versus Protoss. You do love to see it. It's a rare sight. It is rare. It can work from time to time if you were watching Home Story Cup or Stars War 11, for example. Just Gumiho in general in TVP. Gumiho, as well as Maru, have this year whipped out mech with success against Protoss players, against top Protoss players in the world. But it is still a very niche kind of playstyle, a very niche build. And we'll see if Nia can make this work. We'll see if he can play like Gumiho and play like Maru. We'll see. As factories have been placed, and we're going for a double tank production. Reactor is done as well to get to Hellions to help buffer, of course. Meanwhile, Cristiano, those extra gateways. Uh-oh. As Neo is building up tanks, Cristiano is throwing down 2 more gates. We're going 4-gate blink into charge. And this is going to be very aggressive here from Cristiano. You can see he is getting a third. He's not going for an all-in, but he's going to have quite a lot to work with once he does decide to move out. Now, the problem with this kind of mech composition in this matchup is mech can have a really hard time against specifically Chargelot Immortal. Chargelot Archon Immortal, it allows Chargelots, of course, they can close the gap, they can get on top of the tanks and shut them down. Immortals, they shut down all things mech, tank, Cyclone, Hellion as well. So once Cristiano realizes what's going on, and now he does, the Observer does confirm what is occurring, Cristiano can now respond in kind. I mean, he already has charge on the way, and there we go. Second Robo. Big sign, big tell. That is 2 Robos this early on. Immortals. Mass Immortal from Cristiano. And again, that is just a really solid way to shut down mech. And I mentioned before that Cristiano, he's not unfamiliar with Neo. They practice together, so I'm sure Cristiano, he's well practiced against this kind of style. Against mech. Thors? Okay. I wasn't quite expecting that. We're getting into some Thor production. Let's go. Thors are here. Hellions get shut down. Stalkers marauding around the map, just getting map control, scan. Oh. The Thors, they killed the Observer. Okay, I mean, true. I mean, they shoot up. It's the only thing that shoots up. Okay. Makes sense, I guess. Okay. Okay, I see you. There's logic behind it. Behind this, there's no medevacs though, so there's no starport, there's no like Thor drop potential or anything like that. But it looks like just 2 Thors, just for some anti-air. Meanwhile, the Observer is coming back in, and Cristiano will confirm the boys are being pulled. Oh my, 2 makes all in. We're pulling the boys. We're going to be committed here. With this army, what do we have to work with? We have 6 tanks, 2 Thors, Hellions and Hellbats. And the scary thing is, it got spotted. It got scattered by the Observer. So Cristiano is getting ready. What's important, he has to slow it down. He has to slow down the army and buy as much time for extra Immortals. We already have 3, soon to be 5. 5 Immortals on the way. Can we catch a tank? Up! We can! 1 tank goes down. Your repair is not good enough. The first tank falls, and can we get another? Up! He wants it! Up! It's close! He gets 2! He gets a second tank, and brutal losses here for Neo, losing 2 tanks already, and every tank is just so crucial to this push. Tanks, they add so much DPS, especially when sieged. And Cristiano so far successfully slowing this down, setting up a surround. Flanking on the left, getting ready on the right. And he is up to 5 Immortals. And he's collapsing in! They're only 3 tanks sieged. The Stalkers, they blink on forward, they focus on the tanks, and Cristiano is just going to completely shut this down. Very nice surround. All the tanks fall. There's 1 tank. There's nothing left. There's nothing left, Papi. The Immortals, they stand strong. They just melt the entire mech army. GG. No te creo, Papi. Oh, no. I think he's saying he forgot the SCVs. I think he was intending to pull some more boys. But GG, well played. Cristiano, he will shut down the all-in and take the series 2-1. GG. Beautiful. Beautiful. GG, well played. Cristiano does say, my condolences to Neo, but I appreciate that he showed us something different every game. Every game, something a little bit different, and we even saw a 2-base mech all in towards the end as well. Alas, GG. GG, well played. Oh, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo está Toppin? Oh my god. Ga, papi. Toppin as well, one of the OGs in the Latin American scene. Good to see you. Good to see you. But congratulations, Cristiano does take the series, does advance on into the next round, and the question becomes, does he have an opponent? Let's find out. Let us find out. GG, well played. And let's try to catch up on the bracket and figure out where we are and where we are headed. Oh, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look yourselves. Oh my god. Oh, the alerts. But here we go. Let's have a look, and let's open this up a little bit more. There we go. We have a Kamikaze. We have Kamikaze up against Tavo in the next round. Let's El Tavito. Let's go. Tavo takes down Cinder 2-0, advancing on a face-off against Kamikaze. Again, I was favoring Tavo, and I do favor Tavo against Kamikaze as well. So best of luck to Kamikaze. It's not going to be an easy TVT, but again, Tavo is going to be at least my slight favorite there. Scrolling down, Cristiano advances on, and Cristiano, he's waiting for the winner of Eon and Slayer Marine. I mentioned before that I'm unfamiliar with Slayer Marine. If you have any information about him, I would love to know. It's an ID that I'm not... I know Slayer's MVP, but not a little bit less familiar with Slayer Marine, so if anyone knows anything about the player themselves, then do let us know. But alas, Eon is up against him. Winner goes up against Cristiano. Scrolling down, we have Ryojin. Ryojin takes down Ire 2-0. Ryojin was favored in that series. He's waiting for Mike or Ninja in the next round, and I think there's some walkovers. I believe there are some walkovers that might be occurring in that portion of the bracket, so we'll try to get a read on what's going on there. Or they might just be mid-series. Scrolling down, we have Luciano. Luciano takes down Facebook at 2-1. Shout out to Facebook, but Luciano was slightly favored in that series and does come out on top. I mean, went to the ace match. Could have gone either way. Great to see that to go the distance. Luciano advances on a face-off against Inexorable. Inexorable gets a walkover in the first round. I was looking forward to seeing Rescue. Was looking forward to it, but alas, Rescue was not around. Rescue was not available. Instead, Inexorable does advance on to face up against Luciano in a TVT. That's going to be a close one. I do favor Inexorable in that series. It is going to be a TVT between the Chilean Terran and the Brazilian Terran player. Best of luck to both players. I would not be opposed to seeing an ace match between them, but best of luck nonetheless. And for the most part, the first round is wrapping up. First round is wrapping up. We still have a couple more matches remaining here, and our attention is focused on Cristiano. Typically here on the channel, we like to follow players and follow this kind of story that we're kind of building up, right? Like we started with Cristiano versus Neo, and we want to follow him in the next round into the upper semifinals. When it comes to, or even Eon or Slayer Marine into the upper semis as well. When it comes to the semis, I believe we're going to be casting both semis one after the other, and both semis should be covered here. So hopefully we can catch some of the lower bracket players in those semifinals. We haven't been able to follow them yet, but, you know, Luciano, Inexorable, Ryojin, Mike, Ninja, whoever makes it out amongst the 4 of them, or 5 of them even, we will be able to cover them in those semis. We'll get there. We'll get there. So both semis will be casted. Don't you worry. Otherwise, I guess we have a little bit of downtime. I'm trying to, like, peek in. Eon is currently in-game. Can I have a look at his match history? Okay, is Eon streaming his POV? that's another possibility. Eon does stream quite often. So, is he live? Having a look. Pili Pili's live. Oh my god. I don't see Eon. Okay, so Eon's not live. So yeah, we're a little bit in the dark as to Eon's match, but we will be waiting. We're waiting to see what does occur. Enki, meanwhile. But Cristiano, he just messaged me. He's like, sorry for the clown fiesta. I'm like, no. We like los payasos, papi. We like them. Cristiano. But just checking Enki's channel. Enki is casting Ninja versus Mame. No mames, papi, no mames. But Enki's covering that series, so it looks like he's most likely going to be following that into the next round, into Ryojin. So Enki has you covered there. He's in the first round. Meanwhile, there are some other casters, of course, covering these matches. We have Pacheca, who is currently not live, and we have Artecario, who is casting Eon versus Slayer Marine. Okay. And they're in game 1. They might... It looks like they're in game 1. Okay, it looks like they're still in game 1. If that's the case, then we might be jumping in mid-series. Might decide to jump in mid-series. Ooh, or I have another option. We can wait. It's okay. I like the idea of meeting up with some of the other boys. But yeah, it looks like Atecario, he's covering Eon versus Slayer Marine. But yeah, I guess they started a little bit later. Guess they had a bit of a later start. Oh, okay. Okay. Hold on. We got a plan. We have a plan. Okay. Man, we have a fresh series. So we're going to be covering Tavo versus Kamikaze, especially if Eon versus Slayer Marine is still in game 1. It's probably better to let them wrap up, let them finish. And we'll be covering this second round match, and then when we finish this, we can catch up with Cristiano right afterwards. That's my current plan, I should say. My current plan. Okay, let's go. We have a TBT. We are jumping in. And we're going to be covering one of the other brothers. Oh boy, it's been a while. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Side Delta. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets. In the top left, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran. Representing Eximius Gaming, it is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have El Hermano himself. Yeah, papi, let's go. We have the Peruvian Terran player, not Neo, his brother. Not actually, but close enough. The Peruvian Terran representing Team New Angels, it is Tavo. Tavito, papi, let's go. Hold on, just catching up with the chat. Catching up, but yes, Tavo alongside. Fun fact: Tavo was almost a CranKy Duckling. This is a bit of, a little bit of some fun facts, some story time, if you will. So many years ago in 2020, when we were making a little bit more money on the channel, for those who don't know, basically in 2020, between the years of 2020, 2021, 2022, we were the official B stream for ESL, so we were actually making a little bit more income essentially by covering ESL and the champs as well. I was going to the studio in Sydney to cast Australian Starcraft, and because of that, we wanted to reinvest. As we were making more money, we wanted to reinvest, so we did start our pro team. We had our Oceanic division, we had our Latin American division as well, and in our Latin American division, we had Eric, of course, who's still in the CranKy Ducklings, Ryu as well, still in the CranKy Ducklings, and I wanted one of these two Terran players, and we couldn't afford both. At the time, we couldn't afford both. I would have loved to have had both, but it was Tavo and Neo. We just casted Neo. Tavo as well. They both came hand in hand. They're both really good friends. They're both practice partners. They were on the same team for so long as well, and we were close with both of them. And it felt so bad tearing them apart. So felt so bad, like signing one and not the other. In the end, we went for Neo. Neo did come on as a CranKy Duckling, and Tavo, he's always been near and dear to my heart. Near and dear, honorary Duckling, honorary. Davito. But yeah, fun fact. So almost Duckling. long time ago. But yeah, for now, we're gonna be settling in. We're gonna be settling into our match. Predictions, I believe, have closed in the chat. Sí, el tapo, papi, el tapo. Oh, and thank you so much. Let me play with your kitties. Sorry, it was earlier we were going over the bracket, but thank you so much for subscribing for 5 months. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Much love. Literally just called American Starcraft Tournament. Yeah, it's the American. There's no other American Starcraft Tournament, Hyper 1. There's no other. Just this one. This is all there is. I know that they're very creative when it comes to tournament names. I know. Cap. For now, though, we're going to be settling in. We do have a 1-1-1 setup here from Tavo. Meanwhile, Kamikaze went for something more economic. So Tavo went for a later expansion. Kamikaze went for an earlier one. As we're also entering our own setups here. And we'll see where this takes us. We'll see where this goes. Yes, el tapo. Who's also still currently studying, still in university. Was asking him as we were getting ready for the tournament, just catching up with some of the players, catching up. It's good to see. And here we go, Tavo moving out with his initial job play. It's going to be a double Cyclone job out of Tavo. Remember, he went for a faster factory. Back at home, Kamikaze is going to be on him to defend. He has his own defensive Cyclone, Viking as well. Kamikaze has limited scouting information, has 0 scouting information, but is getting ready for the harassment, for the aggression. Is getting ready. Meanwhile, Tavo splitting up his units, drop towards the left, Reapers towards the right, and we'll see what we can get done. There is a tank in position. And I believe the tank should be within range, and it is. Yeah, the tank does deflect. Reapers don't quite pull the trigger. Davito dipping in. Up! Oh my god. And the Viking will zone away the drop. At the same time, Reapers don't quite pull the trigger yet. There was potentially an... there's no opening. There's Marines ready. Kamikaze is looking solid. It's looking like a brick wall. Tavo will have to find another way in. When it comes to this matchup as well, I have a really hard time kind of favoring any player. I think in their prime, Tavo did reach higher levels of play, but that was back in their prime. Tavo, he stepped away from the game for a little bit, was focusing on his studies for a while as well. Let's focus. Oh, as we do have a bit of a pause.
Game paused.
Here's going to be a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything is okay. And maybe some Uber Eats. The kitchen is going off. Hopefully everything's fine. But we're more than happy to pause, as we've yet to really get into the swing of things here. I mean, both players are still building up on 2 bases, no major aggression. Tavo just threw down a 3rd CC, so he's building up towards a 3rd base. Kamikaze yet to do it himself. Still just easing into our Terran versus Terran. Is an Arab king sponsoring this tournament? Oh no. Welcome to EWC American Tournament. Beautiful. Despite being called an American tournament, I'm pretty sure we purely have Latin American players. I'm pretty sure it's purely from Latino America. but I think the idea is that it's open to invites from North America as well, like from Canada, from the States. I think they're open to the idea. Regardless, jumping back in. Pause has ended. Tavo moving out. Now remember, Tavo's not all in. 3rd CC is almost halfway done, but he is looking to apply pressure and ideally contain. Contain Kamikaze on 2 bases for as long as he can, while he expands back at home. So Tavo is moving out. 3rd CC now on the way for Kamikaze. Kamikaze trying to break out himself, looking at the units tab, but Kamikaze has 2 Ravens, so does Tavo. And who disables first? Auto turrets get thrown down. We do get the auto turrets, and alas, Thabo has siege. Kamikaze has not. Can we get on top of the tanks? It's close. We can. One tank goes down. We get one. We get two. Can we get three? Three tanks barely do fall. Can we get four? Oh my god. We can. Thabo, calm down. Four tanks fall. The Vikings, they take a big volley as well. And Thabo will take the fight. It was a very chaotic one. The Raven count was reset. Everyone lost their Ravens. But Kamikaze lost his tanks. Thabo didn't lose any. Crazy. Look at the trades. 0 tanks have fallen. Davito, take the win. Get the hell out of here. I'm a little bit concerned. This army is still looking very vulnerable. The Marines, there's no stim. There's no medevac support either. They're very, very low. Likewise, the tanks themselves on their own can be quite vulnerable as well. You can see Thabo there. Okay, he's pulling back. Thavo's going to be pulling away and preserving his units. So a strong start for Thabo. And a Kamikaze, he has to rebuild back at home. Now, something that Kamikaze does have is Vikings. Remember, he preserved his Vikings earlier and still maintains that high Viking count. Looking at the numbers here, 6 versus 4, so it still maintains it. With that, has air control. And even with a lower tank count, Kamikaze can still win fights. Those that are curious, of course, tanks, they can shoot further than they can see, so air control is a big part of TBT. Air control, positional play as well. We have seen many a TBT where a Terran player can be down 20, 30 army supply and still swing a fight in their favor. So Kamikaze is not out of this. Thabo has a nice lead, but it's not that simple. it's not that easy. As he is moving out. Rotating towards the third base. As we can see, the third was taken at the linear location, not at the triangular location. SCVs are spotted. And that was going to chase him down. Kamikaze getting ready for any kind of drop play. Oh, and Thabo still doesn't know about the expansion, but he does see the center tower. Okay. Sees the tower. They begin. Ooh. Thabo overextending, bleeds out one of the Vikings. Tank shots going off within range of the add-ons. Yeah, the reactors are going down. Kamikaze sneaking on forward, getting within range. Oh, no, the scan! Thabo does scan first. Tank goes down. Yeah, Kamikaze trying to be sneaky, was unable to scan in time, or get vision in time. Kamikaze trying to hold on. Oh, getting vision. There we go, gets a tank. Nice pickup. And Thabo is going for a double drop here towards that third. There's a tank in position. Vikings, oh, they take down a full medevac. Oh, and I didn't even notice, but we have more factories. It is going to be mech. Mech from Kamikaze. Mech versus Biotank. Now, little does Kamikaze know, Thabo, he's got a lot of practice against mech. Again, Thabo and Neo, they're like the yin and yang. Neo, the mech player. Thabo, the bio player. Casted them a lot together. We'll see if Kamikaze can stabilize. I mean, that's another X factor to consider here, is that Kamikaze, sure, he's down in supply as well, but because he's playing mech, I mean, replacing these tanks is that much easier for him. I'm actually curious. As we can see here, Kamikaze actually now has the tank lead. Despite the earlier losses, Kamikaze did replace all of them already. So the tank count's looking healthy. Behind this, more Vikings amassing as well. More tanks. Thabo trying to go for another double drop, but there's a turret in position. Kamikaze will spot this. Will force the unload. Thabo taking it fourth. So Thabo still maintains a greater economy, which is what he needs, right? Like, as the bio player, or as the player against mech, you do need more bases, a greater economy, a larger army. Because the reality is, Kamikaze's army is more efficient. Is going to be more efficient here. Thabo going for a split push. Tanks are ready. Thabo pulls away. Likewise, 4 tanks sieged up. The tanks are exposed. Do we push in? The tanks are just getting within range of the turrets, of the towers, of the CC. Yeah, these tanks are a little bit too far back. These towers are going to go down. Vikings coming in. They catch a Viking. Oh, they get 1, they get 2. Almost 3. And now here comes the Liberator. This is the power of air control. With all these Vikings, now we have a Liberator. The Kamikaze, ooh, he will lose a lid, but it costs a lot of Marines and every single Viking. Yeah, rough trade for Thavo. As I say, that does catch a couple of these Vikings. Double drop coming in. No anti-air. Yeah, he's considering dropping on the tanks, but the Hellions are in position. Drop zips in. Oh my, there are so many turrets. Oh my god. What makes it out? 3 Marines. A bold move out of Thavo, but the wall of turrets was just a little bit too strong. A little bit too much. I love that the wall of turrets is further back inside. It's like further back into the base because it lures the drop in. Because they're like, oh, there's no tanks. There's an opening. There was no opening. There was no opening, Papi. It was a bait. Thavo's maxed out. Stimming on forward, trying to collapse on top of these tanks. And can he break through? He barely can. Where are the Hellions? Without Hellions, the tanks are so exposed and every single tank goes down. The base as well. Thavo breaks through. Gets on top of the CC and will shut it down. Again, tanks can be terrifying, but they need support. They need that buffer, whether it's Cyclone, whether it's Hellion, whether it's Landed Viking, anything. SCVs. And tanks, they're vulnerable. They have their pants down. Oh no. The pants were down. Thavo pulling away. 3-3 in production. And Thavo maintains his base lead. Kamikaze trying to get his own, now back up fourth on the way. Double expanding. Thavo remaxing. And once again, Thavo is going to be looking for another exposed location like we saw previously. Whether it's these tanks here or these here towards the left. Wherever Kamikaze is not. Thavo spreading out. Collapsing towards that third base. The tanks are on siege. There's still so many tanks though. Are there enough? Thavo, he does spread out. Stimming on 4 tanks, they do siege up in time, and they shut down every single tank. What about the Liberators, though? Nothing shoots up. It's Tank Marauder. Nothing shoots up. The Liberators, they will be able to shut this down, but we avoid the Freedom Zones. Vikings will land. Boys are being pulled. And Thavo fighting out of range of those Libs. They do re-siege. More tanks going down. Thavo has to get the hell out of here. He traded well, though. 25 SCVs. He got 25 SCVs alongside 11 tanks. 11 tanks, 4 Vikings. Kamikaze is holding, but remember, Thavo is rebuilding, remaxing, and he's going to do that again. This time with 3-3. 3-3 is now done. Thavo incorporating more Marines, getting to more of these Vikings. The Viking count has been thinned out a little bit, so getting back into Viking production is viable. And again, the real problem now is becoming the Liberators. The freedom. That's too much freedom, man. Kamikaze rotates towards the left-hand side. The Vikings are here. They're not where they need to be. Once again, this position looking vulnerable. The army stems in. At least tries to. The choke point is brutal. Oh my god. Big tank shots going up. But alas, the Liberators are cleaned up. And once again, the third base is denied. Barely any Marines left over. It's 4 Marines left. Not much anti-air. It's not the cleanest trades from Thavo, but it doesn't need to be clean. It's fine, Bobby. It's fine. It can be dirty. Thavo is slowly pushing forward, getting within range of the main. Tank volley is going up. Oof. 1 tank goes down. We get a tank. Likewise, turrets falling in the main. Kamikaze expanding elsewhere towards the south. Like again, Kamikaze is still maintaining himself tank-wise. Like he still has a lot of tanks. 11 tanks for Kamikaze. But they are spread out. One of them getting within range. Picks off a tank. Ooh, picks off 2 tanks even. Oh my god. Calm down. Speak offs here from Kamikaze. Thavo taking more CCs, taking more bases. Double expanding. Ooh, and Thavo is unaware of this southern base. If he was, he should be rotating, but for now, denying the replacement base, replacement CC. Does spot it. And Davo, he has to get out of here. He stands his ground. He's gonna lose everything. All 3 tanks do fall. Kamikaze re-expands. That was him building up back at home. And now he's gotten into his own Viking Liberator. Now, how many Vikings? 12. Davo barely has a Viking lead. Just barely. Has +1 ship weapons. And that would be a secure way to win a fight. Just to break through those Vikings is making 7 Vikings at a time. Now, even though Davo will have the Viking lead, what does Kamikaze have? A Thor. Thor's on the way. And Thor is a good way to help support your air army. Especially the Viking stack. Meanwhile, we're pushing in. Davo goes for the dive, catches at the Vikings. And here comes the Freedom. Here come the Libs. Yeah, Freedom is here. And Davo, he has an overwhelming Viking lead. Ooh, Liberators are targeted down. Nice focus firing at the Kamikaze. Does target down what's important. We can just land. He's going for the mass land. Up. Up. There it is. Oh, not the best land behind the army, but we come in for a sandwich. We come in for a surround. And we clean up all the tanks. GG, well played. And Davo takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Davo does take a lead here. Again, a very, very intense game. We had, of course, Kamikaze embracing the mech, embracing a slower style, but Davo was doing a good job at abusing that slower style, you know, rotating back and forth between these bases, going for these dives as well, making use of his cheaper marine-based army, able to close the gap, able to catch out tanks time and time again. Oh, GG, well played. Again, when a player is playing mech like this, regardless of, you know, against Zerg, Protoss, or Terran, it is important that the more flexible player is trading as often as possible, doesn't allow Kamikaze to turtle up, to stabilize, and to secure themselves on, you know, a 3, 4, 5 base setup. Davo was in his face. And now we're getting ready for game 2. Getting ready for game 2. We do have some updates in the bracket, but we'll get into it once we wrap up the series. We'll get there. We'll get there. As we are jumping into game number 2. Davo has a lead, and we'll see if he can extend that lead or if Kamikaze brings it all the way back. Meanwhile, there is a big update, and there is an update, and it looks like Eon has taken down... Oh, un momento. Never mind. We are going to be jumping into our next game, and Eon has taken down Slayer Marine 2-0. Eon is now up against Cristiano in the next round. And we did want to try to jump on Eon versus Cristiano, but we're focusing on this series. Once we wrap up with this, then we can try to catch up and try to jump into Eon and Cristiano. That's going to be the plan. I was hoping that maybe this one would wrap up a little bit faster, and we could cover both, but alas... I'm not gonna abandon Davo and Kamikaze. No. We're committed, Papi. We're committed. Are committed. So we're here to see how this story ends. It's catching up. I see Neo in the chat. See Neo. It's a Gome as well. Clearly, no one from NA was worth inviting. Oh, personally, I think it's more about trying to get in contact with North American players, especially considering that, of course, the organizers are from Latin America, so it's a little bit easier. They're a little bit more involved in the Latin American community, so it's easier to get a hold of them. Unfortunately, maybe a little bit harder to get a handle on some of the NA players. Some of them were invited, like Ninja. Ninja's an NA Protoss player. But didn't check in. Well, wasn't here. Oh wait, no, sorry, he did. My apologies. Enki was covering them, of course. My apologies. Is he still casting the same series? Is Enki still casting Ninja versus Mame? No shot. He is. They're still in game 1? What is going on? Enki. Oh no, sorry. It's Ninja versus Ryojin. Okay. But yeah, Enki is casting Ninja versus Ryojin. There we go. I was like, no shot he's still up against Mame. No shot. Yeah, shout out to Enki. Shout out. Tavor. Hello, Viperino. Hello. Bang Glory as well. Welcome. Looks like our players, they need a moment. They need a moment to gather their thoughts. To breathe. I mean, after an intense game, I don't blame them. Don't blame them. As they are just getting things ready. And I believe most of the second round matches have casters. Like we're of course covering Tavo and Kamikaze. I believe Pacheca and Art are covering Atakario. I believe they're covering Cristiano and Eon. And I believe Ryojin versus Ninja is being covered by Enki. Unfortunately, Luciano and Inexorable don't have a caster, I believe. I don't think there's a Portuguese caster. But definitely deserving to be casted. Really close match, really close series. Hopefully we can catch them later. The players, I mean. But we might just go on a short break. I think our players need a little bit more time. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, Tavo, he was letting us know that there was someone at the door, so had to answer. Now we're jumping in. So I apologize for the break, but now we can focus on our series. We can focus on our match, and we're going to be loading into Alkyone. Oh boy, I'm ready. I am ready, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkyone, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Eximius Gaming, down in the series, but looking to bounce back here and now to force the ace match. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Peruvian Terran player, the Purple Terran, representing Team New Angels. It is Tavo. Davito leading the series 1-0. But again, I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 3, so we can see the most. We can get the most out of these two players. The most out of Tavo and Kami. But now we'll see where our players take us. We'll see if Kamikaze once again embraces mech. I'm curious if that was always the initial plan, or if that was just where Kamikaze did kind of lead us after the initial openers, after the initial losses. As for now, double gas opener out of the Kamikaze. Likewise, double gas out of Tavo as well. Going for faster factories, going for delayed TCs. This time both players are mirroring each other. If you recall, last game Kamikaze went for a faster command center. This time is not. So Kamikaze is switching it up. Tavo playing the same. It's playing the same. Hello, Bag of Smiles. Hello. Matt, we're in the chat as well. Bienvenidos. Welcome. Oh. That's a tech lab. Wait, what? Okay, Kamikaze opening up racks into a tech lab, into Marauder production, I assume. Interesting. So early Marauders here from Kamikaze. I say that there we go. Marauders are on the way. This is a really cheeky way to open up. If Tavo is a little bit too aggressive early on with Hellion Reaper, then Marauders would shut it down. They will shut it down real hard, real quick. So Marauders are amassing. Meanwhile, back at home, Tavo is opening up Reaper. Factories on the way. Reaper going to be scouting, checking for any proxy Raxes. And we'll see where Tavo goes from here. Make sure that everything's as it should be. I'm curious if we're going to actually go for a move out here. I have seen this. Oh my god, we're going for one base all in. Okay. Kamikaze going for a spicy build, going Mass Marauder, Hellion alongside, I imagine, a drop with a medevac, maybe even a Viking. But no CC, no expansion, no command center. Oh boy. We're sending it, Papi. We're sending. Meanwhile, Tavo going to attempt to scout. As he tries to, though, the Marauders are split up. They're spread out. And they will shut down the Reapers. They force them back. The scout is denied. And Tavo's in the dark. Tavo, he is aware of at least the Marauders. And again, it is not uncommon to just see a Marauder opener into a longer game. But this is not a longer game. Now, the Reapers, they do bypass the Marauders. They sneak in from behind. No, they slip in from behind. Oh my god, and we're gonna get a full scout. Big moment here for Tavo. Does harass the mineral line, gets an SCV, spots the factory, spots the Hellions. Doesn't spot the starport. Has incomplete information and is going to be shut down. Gets 2 SCVs. Didn't see everything though. But there it is. Okay, CC's on the way. Very delayed command center for Kamikaze. This move out needs to get damage done, and there's a lot to work with. How much do we have? 3 Hellions, 4 Marauders. Concussive Shell is researched and back at home. Tavo, can he hold? He has Cyclones, but that's what the Marauders are for. Marauders can focus Cyclones down. Vikings on the way. Tavo has a massive worker lead. Can Tavo recover? Sorry, can Kamikaze recover? It's pushing in. Yeah, Viking has arrived. Marauders are going for the Cyclones. And they're going to try to target the first one down. Yeah, 1 Cyclone falls. 2nd Cyclone as well. The boys are being pulled, but it's too late. Yeah, it's too late to pull the boys. And Kamikaze, he has broken through. And now we're going for SCVs. Oh my, they're lining up. Yeah, the Hellion Marauder is going to just shut down the mineral line. So many SCVs going to be going down. And this is becoming a bit much. Getting 5, getting 6 SCVs. And the mules as well. Again, Tavo did not confirm the build. He did not see the starport. Didn't know how committed this was. Tank does siege. And with the help of this tank, Tavo's going to be able to hold on. But Kamikaze has recovered in the worker count. Has recovered. Still is lacking the orbital. There we go. Orbital now going to be morphing in. So Tavo still has the mule advantage. But the army is still here. Can still go for another SCV. And we followed up with a Banshee. Uh-oh. The Banshee has arrived and we have no anti-air. We have 4 Marines. The Banshee spotted. We need that auto turret. We cannot waste it. Tavo is holding on. Takes down both Marauders. Banshee dips in. Gets a Marine. Big up. Oh! Gets 2 Marines. 2 Marines go down. Banshee doesn't commit. Again, the Banshee ideally wants to bait out the auto turret. Hellions, ooh, getting caught as well. There's the auto turret. Getting a lot of damage on the Banshee, but the Banshee does survive. And we go for the mule! Oh my god, we go for the mule to repair. Repair, Papi! You have to repair. There we go. The mule is here to repair. To keep that Banshee going. 2nd Banshee has arrived. And the cloak is researched. Tavo still has a slight worker lead, but it's not as large as it once was. Cyclone racing back home. Kamikaze building up. That is a 2nd factory on the way. It's going to be mech. It is mech once again for Kamikaze. He's making it happen. Likewise, the Banshee's dipping in. Double Banshee. Going for the tanks. Oh! And they're going to get 1. 1 tank goes down. Can we get 2? Not quite. With the Viking Raven, it looks like Tavo will survive, will defend, trading a Banshee for a tank alongside the Marines earlier. Not the worst trade here for Kamikaze as he retreats. And Kamikaze, the scary thing here, he has a much faster third base. Third CC is already done. Third CC just now on the way for Tavo. We spoke earlier in the previous game how against mech, ideally the bio player wants to be upper base, up in economy. Alas, that is not the case this time. Not yet in game 2. As CranKy, he is taking a bit of a greater economic edge. That was ahead in workers for the time being, but just for the time being. So we have double E-base on the way for 1-1. Axes as well. Stim is being reassured. Tavo's still trying to stabilize after what did just occur. He's trying to stabilize. And in the midst of all that, CranKy, yeah, just landing his third base on location. Spreading out his tanks. And CranKy is looking a lot more secure this time. The other important thing, we're loading into Alkyone. The map itself, the map is known and is ideal for these longer, later games. The rush distance by ground is quite long. Likewise, the third base is very defendable. The fourth base, likewise, very defendable as well. There's a reason why we see a lot of late game on this map, which again is more ideal for CranKy, as he can secure himself. Marine going down. Scan into the main reveals all the factories. Now Tavo is aware of the mech. And yeah, Tavo, he immediately throws down a 4cc. Like, Tavo, he is, in a sense, behind. In the economy, I should emphasize. So rushing into his fourth, getting his third base. Setting himself up. And if you're in the chat, now's a good moment. Get some snacks, get some water. Strap yourselves in, papi. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna the game is gonna slow down and we're gonna build up. Unlike the previous game, Tavo doesn't have that momentum on his side where he can just like poke in, poke out, go for these drops, hit the third base, hit the fourth. No. We're slowing the game down. We're building up. Let's go. And it's going to be Viking Tank for CranKy. Tavo embracing something similar, going Tank Viking Marine. It's all about that air control, all about those tanks. Again, Tavo is still investing in his bio production, making 6 Marines at a time. But it's going to be difficult to really find any damage here. Not impossible, just difficult. Scan reveals the composition. Reveals the Marines. CranKy where the main army is. Fourth base soon to be taken. Should be seeing a ring of turrets soon. Once the fourth base gets up and running. We have a handful of turrets here in the main. And some turrets here outside the natural. Spotter depots. More sensor towers. Yeah, we're looking to cut the map in half. Turtle TV. CranKy trying to play mech. Neo, he is the Latin American mech master. You know, he is La Tortuga, man. You can't get more turtle than Neo. We'll see if CranKy can pull it off. We'll see. We'll see if he gains Neo's approval. Let's go. As we are taking more bases. Double expanding, getting a fourth and a fifth. He doesn't know Tavo practiced his whole life. That's what I said before. In game 1, if you recall, I was talking about how the thing about CranKy is that he doesn't know that Tavo has been practicing exclusively with Neo, right? And Neo, he is the mech master. So Tavo, he's well practiced. He spent a lot of time with Neo. True. But CranKy's still doing well walling up. I mean, we got turrets on the way, we got towers, we got tank lines being set up here towards the left. Likewise, similarly set on the right-hand side as well. This is not easy to break. We'll see if Tavo can pull it off. We'll see if that practice with Neo pays off as well. Depots are going down. Oh god, it's a solid wall, Pappy. We're not breaking through this. It's not gonna happen. That's a lot of turrets. That's a lot of tanks. More turrets on the way. Oh, we're not done. More turrets, sensor towers, tanks, turrets, planetary. Showtime ain't got nothing on this. The wall, the Mala, is Brazilian. More Vikings on the way. And again, a big reason, I should wind it back a little bit, a big reason why Kamikaze is able to get into this is because, remember, Tavo took a lot of damage early on. Because Tavo took so much damage early on, he lost map control that allowed Kamikaze to embrace this. And Tavo couldn't really do anything about it. Couldn't really slow it down. Does rotate on the right-hand side. Now, here the turrets are not ready. The turrets and tanks are not quite in position. This is where Kamikaze is the most weakest. He's at his most weakest. Vikings, they do dive in. BC's on the way. Yeah, the battle cruiser has arrived. Turrets being thrown down, and can we break through? Tavo, he's trying. Tanks, they do siege up. They're going for the CC. But Tavo lost every single Viking. Vikings went down. We have a battle cruiser. Yeah, the battle cruiser going to rain down on the tanks, and Kamikaze will clean this up. He loses the base, but Tavo loses the army. Again, it was all about the battle in the sky. Mass Viking BC. And Tavo, he tried to break through. Alas, he lost his army in the process, and now he's in trouble. Tavo's in a lot of trouble here. Kamikaze snowballing out of control. And can this army be stopped? That's a lot of tanks. That's even more Vikings. 17 Vikings here for Kamikaze. And the 1 BC behind it. And Tavo, he's up against the wall. Oh, the wall is coming to him. It's coming, Pat. And Vikings pushing forward. The Marines, they can deal with some of these Vikings. But now the tank count heavily in favor of Kamikaze as he's edging ever closer. He's edging, Pat. Now the tank goes down. More tanks coming forward. Kamikaze is slowly gaining more ground. Takes down another medevac. Whatever he can in the sky. More BCs on the way. And even landing Vikings as well. You see Tavo trying to get a wraparound, trying to avoid the main army. He cannot push into this. It's not going to happen. Going for a counterattack instead. That's a lot of Marines. Kamikaze racing back home. He's setting up. He has plenty of tanks back at home as well. He is siege. He is set up. Kamikaze kills a base. And Tavo, he cannot push into this. He does at least force Kamikaze back home and delays reinforcements. But the main army is still terrifying. Tavo trying to step forward. Alas, he's going to be cleaned up. The BC's still alive. Tavo's still looking for another way in, but there are so many tanks. They're everywhere. It's too little too late. We've hit critical mass of tank. The army sims on in. But it gets obliterated by the tank line. GG, well played. And Kamikaze will tie the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, Kamikaze had a much stronger start this time. He was able to do a lot of economic damage, take the economic lead himself, and if there was a window to take advantage of, Tavo did miss it. Likewise, had a really rough engage that quickly snowballed in favor of Kamikaze, where Tavo tried to dive on forward, tried to force his way towards the right-hand side. Alas, Kamikaze was more than ready for it. GG. GG, well played. It was not about the army on the ground in that first fight. It was about the army in the sky. And now we're headed into Oceanborn. Let's go. We're headed into Oceanborn. This will be our final game of the series. One way or another, the series will end here and now, either in favor of Kamikaze or Tavo. We'll see. We'll see which direction this goes in. Oh. Let's go. Are jumping on in. Now, Kamikaze has played mech twice now. He played mech in game 1, played mech in game 2. I imagine Kamikaze is going to play mech again in game number 3. But what I'm most interested in is the early game. I mentioned before that Kamikaze did have a stronger early game, did do quite a lot of economic damage, was able to reset and kill all the cyclones, and did quite a lot early on. If he can do the same, then he might find himself in a similar position. Otherwise, it's on the Peruvian Terran to tighten up that early game and to get a read on what his opponent's up to. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Eximius Gaming, tying up the series. And can he take that momentum and keep on going to the semis? It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Peruvian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team New Angels. It is Davo. Davito down in this series. We'll see if he can bring it back. I say down, sorry. Did lose a little momentum in that last game. We'll see if he can bring it back here. So keep an eye on our players in the early game. Double gas open out to Kamikaze. Meanwhile, we see Davo for the time being settling in, getting into his own second gas geyser as well. As a reminder, last game it was a Marauder opener. It was mass Marauder into a factory in Starport, delayed CC, which did catch Davo off guard. We'll see if Kamikaze goes to something similar or something different. We shall see. Welcome, SOS Davi, or SOS Davi even. Welcome up. Bienvenidos. As we are going to be settling in. So far, both players in a way mirroring each other. Kamikaze has a slight gas edge, as he did take a second gas geyser slightly earlier. Factory now on the way for both players. Both players embracing that factory production. And we should be expanding from here, but again, Kamikaze did show us that he's willing to stay on one base a little bit longer. As Reaper is moving out, this time no tech labs. Going for the initial Reaper. We see Davo scouting, checking for proxies. And checks on the right, then the left-hand side. And Kamikaze is waiting for the Reaper to move out across the map, or at least hoping that it would. As we can see, Davo just being safer. Just being safe and secure, checking proxy locations, expanding on the low ground. Likewise, Kamikaze doing something similar. Didn't quite check for proxies, but was just hoping to catch the Reaper. Now moving out with another. CCs are on the way, Cyclones as well. We're calming things down. We're entering a more standard game state. Kamikaze's still on top of the ramp. Oh! Davo does rotate around. Avoids the ramp, making his way towards the natural. Kamikaze likewise on top of the ramp as well. And Kamikaze will shoot first. Oof. Does shoot first. Davo has to get the hell out of here. Does retreat. Does pull back. Doesn't lose anything. And our players will settle down. Our 1-1-1s. We have our Cyclone production working towards Cyclone drop play, I imagine. Kamikaze checking for proxies. Checking for any kind of anomaly out on the map. And here come those medevacs. Now, we could end up like in a weird scenario where both the medevacs, they miss each other, they get across the map. We could be seeing some SV kills, or the medevacs, they could actually run into each other in the middle of the map, and it's going to come down to who responds in time, who micros in time, who pulls back, who unloads, and catches the other opponent, the other player. Oh, never mind. I just assumed that Davo would also be opening up with a medevac, but no, he's going for a tech lab. Okay, faster Raven production. So Davo's going to be the defender. Davo's going to be the defender, Kamikaze, the aggressor, with that Cyclone drop. So Kamikaze moving out with the Cyclones. Davo staying back at home. And we'll see if Davo can minimize losses. See if he can. As Reaper's on moving out as well to support. Headed towards the main. Davo not quite in position at the natural. Reaper zip in, going for the mineral line. Davo will respond. Cyclones, they get some SCVs. 2 SCVs go down. And just 2 workers for now. And the lock-on is going to be on the Reapers, not on the medevac. The medevac will escape. Reapers go down. Not the worst trade for Kamikaze. 2 Reapers for 2 SCVs, bearing in mind that Reapers do not scale well into a longer game. And Kamikaze does escape with the Cyclones. Does get away. Behind this, 3rd CC being thrown down, much faster this time for Kamikaze. Faster CC. Meanwhile, we do have a Raven lead for Davo. Davito does have additional Ravens. Cyclones dropping into the natural, rotating around. Tank is in position. And big tank volley going up. As 1 Marine gets sniped. 3rd CC now on the way. Slightly later for Davo. Slightly. He's getting there. Not too far behind his opponent. Oh, but Ducklings. Oh, but he's crazy. I thought I was seeing things. Kamikaze getting his 3rd and his 4th CC. Very greedy play here from Kamikaze. If he gets away with it, that is going to be a massive boost to his economy. We'll see if he can. We'll see if he can. Aye. As he has yet to throw down a second factory, but I'm sure will. Yep, there it is. Second factory is on the way. So once again, every game so far, mech from Kamikaze is embracing that mech. And if he's allowed to get away with this, then his mech is going to snowball out of control. Davil securing his own third. Securing his own third CC. And third base now being taken. Double E base on the way for upgrades. Of course, once again, Thavo embracing Bio. It's going to be Bio tank from Thavo. And Kamikaze likewise has his own third base already up and running. And his fourth CC finishing up as well. Gonna be landed already. Oh, he's crazy. I was waiting for it to like morph into an orbital or something first, but no. Just landing it immediately on location. No fear from Kamikaze. Command center is on the way. Now looking at the main armies, it is going to be 3 Raven versus 3 Raven. Raven counts are even between Thavo and Kamikaze. So the tank counts. Bearing in mind, because of this fast fourth base does mean that the army here of Kamikaze is not as strong as it otherwise would have been because the factories were a little bit more delayed. Oh, my apologies. I made an assumption here, but no, Stim, Bio, it's Bio tank, it's not mech. It was a fast second factory, but there was no third factory, so again, I just kind of jumped the gun a little bit there, but it is going to be Bio for the first time. Meanwhile, Double Drop gets 3 SCV kills, Double moving out. Now, Stim is later for Kamikaze, but Stim is going to finish. Stim is going to finish up in time. Oh! Raven taking a lot of damage. There's going to be Bio tank here from Kamikaze for the first time. I appreciate it. Do appreciate it. I appreciate that we're seeing different layers or different facets and faces of Kamikaze. Not as one note. Not just mech. Which I appreciate. Meanwhile, the fourth base morphing into a planetary. Starting to get saturated. Davo rotating around. Still looking for a way in. Now, there is going to be a window where Thavo will have faster upgrades or greater upgrades. 1-1 is finishing up for the Red Terran. And Kamikaze needs more time to get into his own 1-1. So there is a window. Here we go. Thavo is moving out with those upgrades. And can he break through? Looking at the Viking counts, it is in favor of Kamikaze. Does have more Vikings. Raven's coming in, going for the disables. He does get them. 2, 3 tanks to be disabled. Only 1 tank within range. Never mind. 2 tanks. Auto shots are thrown down, and Thavo, he gets cleaned up. Kamikaze, he breaks on through. Yeah, the disables were not good enough. The auto shots were insane, and now Thavo, he's in a lot of trouble. We'll clean up some of these Ravens in the retreat. But Kamikaze is rallying everything across the map. Yeah, the Marines, the tanks. It's all rallying over. And Thavo, he's in a lot of trouble. Thavo, he's hurting. He's got 1 tank. 1 tank on the high ground. Kamikaze pushing forward. Oof. Tank volley is going up. Thavo gets 1 tank. Trying to hold on. Stimming forward. Gets another. Nice catch. Does get a second tank. Kamikaze still not pulling back though. Still rallying across. Okay, now does return. Whew. And Thavo survives. Thavo does survive the counterattack. It was quite a tense moment. What is a little bit scary though is that Kamikaze didn't overextend. He lost 2 tanks, true, did lose 2 tanks, but he preserves his bio, preserves most of his tanks, builds up, consolidates his army, and is moving out once again. So Kamikaze still has a greater force to work with. Meanwhile, Thavo going for a double drop. Ooh, the turrets will shut down the Medivacs. The Medivacs will be going down, but we do get some SCVs. Not bad, getting 10, 12, 13, oh my god, 14! 14 SCVs go down. At the same time, Thavo pushing in towards the left-hand side, going for the CC. Won't quite get it. A little bit. Oh, or will he? It's getting low. Getting very low, but alas, the repairs will save it. Yeah, Marines are going down. Davo throwing away a lot of Marines, but it does pay off. He gets 19 SCVs, 20, 21, 22. There's nothing left. 22 workers. Oh my god. That is some good economic damage, but this is what's terrifying. It triggers a counterattack. Kamikaze, he has been triggered. He's moving out across the map. Davo is not quite ready for this. He's setting up, spreading out his tanks. Kamikaze not going to take this flank down. Davo trying to set up his own flank. Kamikaze does spot him. Tanks pushing forward. Looking at the army size here, we have double the tank count for Kamikaze. 10 tanks versus 5. Bio count is quite similar. Davo going for a triple drop. Bold move. Kamikaze doesn't pull the trigger yet. Another tank edging closer. This is a risky move from Davo, but it looks like it's going to pay off. As Davo's going to have that much less to defend back at home. But Kamikaze does not pull the trigger. But there are tanks! Davo, ooh, yeah, he is punished. Doesn't quite break in. Plenty of reinforcements back at home. And the drop is denied. Kamikaze turning back around. He wants those drops. He wants those medevacs. Oh. He wants them. Oh my god, he's got to get them as well. Yeah, medevacs, they get caught out. Massive loss here for Davo. Losing all 3 medevacs. And all the Marines. At the same time, these tanks are a little bit more exposed. Davo, he's stemming forward. He will try to break out. He will clean up these tanks. Not enough Marines, not enough support. And suddenly that triple drop was worth it. Even though the 3 drops went down. Killed how many tanks? 6. Oh my, 7. Oh my god. 7 tanks. It's a lot of tanks. And again, it was because of that triple drop that allowed that to occur. 7 tanks go down. Davo pushing forward. Likewise, Kamikaze trying to keep up. Tank count now slightly in favor of Davo. More reinforcements on the way. Davo keeping Kamikaze busy. Double drop moving out on the right hand side. There is only 2 turrets. 2 turrets in position. But there's potential for damage, definitely. Davo does knock down those rods. Main tank bullies going up. Davo could deny the expansion, or even come in from behind. As there is a path through the center here. And we're stimming on forward. We do catch, not quite a tank. Oh, yeah, we don't get much done here. There was potential, but alas, Kamikaze does turn back around. Davo does spot the expansion. And will delay. At the same time, Davo a little bit late to siege. It was later to siege, but will hold his own. The Vikings land. Oh my god. And the Vikings, they will clean up the tanks. 2 tanks left. 1. And soon to be none. Okay, Kamikaze does take the fight. Just barely. Davo's reinforcements were out of position. He wasn't quite there to support. Another big loss with Davo. Kamikaze still maintains his greater economy, the greater army. On 5 bases, soon to be 6. Kamikaze got 9 tanks there. Catch 9 tanks. And Davo, I'm not so sure he can really push into this. He can try to go for a drop once again, or try to collapse on the army from multiple angles. I mean, the bio army is quite low. No medevacs, true. No medevacs, Kamikaze. Marines are more vulnerable. And Davo's gonna try. He's spreading out. Getting ready to collapse. He stims in! Oh, he goes to the stim. And Davo, he should break through the Marines. They weren't quite ready. They weren't quite enough. And the Mass Marine. Davo, we can keep going. Not quite into this. Oh no! That's a lot of tanks. Davo had a brutal choke point as well. Davo's gonna have to back off. He retreats, rotates around. Still very close once again. Coming in from multiple angles. The tanks are unsieged. A massive moment here for Davo. Shuts down the tanks. Gets on top of the Liberators as well. And Davo, he cleans up the army. Oh my god. Man with gun. What can't they do? Davo, he cleans up the tanks. The Liberators as well. Who needs tanks when you have Mass Marine, papi? Let's go. Nice position though. Kamikaze catching some of those tanks. Big volleys going off. Davo pulling away, regenerating his HP. Kamikaze is still just embracing purely tank Viking. Is making some Marines true to support, but no medevacs. Not for Kamikaze. 6th Faith getting up and running. Bearing in mind that Kamikaze still has a better economy, so he can maintain and sustain these losses. Davo rotating around. He is aware, I'm sure, of the base. He's going for the expansion. Yeah, Kamikaze out of position. The base is exposed. And Davo's going for it. Does back off for a moment. Tanks are exposed. Big volley going up for the Marines, but the planetary is going to fall. A lot of Marines did just go down though. Planetary goes down. But Davo's in a really awkward position. And Kamikaze might have the opportunity here to collapse on the army. The Liberators are on the way. Again, Kamikaze has maintained the Viking lead. And now we have the Libs. Davo has to unsiege, has to get the hell out of here. Davo does have to pull away. Getting to his own Liberator range upgrades. Advanced ballistics. Viking production as well for Davo. So he does catch 3 tanks. Once again, not a bad trade for Davo. Gets 3 tanks. Liberators have arrived. They're gonna catch a tank of their own. They try to. 1 tank goes down. Davo has to pull away. He pulls back. Kamikaze, massive on siege. Look at the units tab. Kamikaze, he's up on tanks, up on Vikings. He's down on Marines. But our Marine's going to be good enough this time. This Kamikaze's in a much better position. He's got tanks covering himself. So surround isn't going to be as effective. The Libs, I believe, yeah, they're within range. No, these 2 tanks. They got 2 at least. Yeah, Vikings pushing forward, Liberators as well. Davo, yeah, pushing forward with the Marines, but I don't think that's the best move here. The Marines, yeah, they're going to be shut down as well. Bit of miscontrol from Davo. And Kamikaze's maxed. Kamikaze's maxed out. Triple drop moving out to deny the expansion. Davo hoping to try to draw away some reinforcements. Will catch a tank. Maybe more than 1. Gets 2. Gets 3. Oh my god. Gets 3. Gets 4. Oh, no. Not quite 4. Godless planetary under fire. Now we're fighting back. The Viking count now actually in favor of Davo. He has been slowly building up his Vikings. Oh, I say that. Doesn't quite bleed them out. More Vikings pushing forward. Kazi overextends. Again, a lot of Vikings go, no! Davo likewise overextending as well. Trading out some Vikings. Davo taking more expansions. More bases. Davo still barely holding on. Looks like the drop was cleaned up. The planetary did finish. Meanwhile, Davo, he sneaks up on the army. Has the high ground. Gets another tank. Did sneak up on Kamikaze. Kamikaze pulling away. Rotating, can start applying pressure on some of these other fringe bases. Davo not quite ready for this. Uh-oh, he misses the rotation. Does pull towards the center. I mean, there are two armies. One towards the left, one towards the right. Kamikaze pushing in. It does go for the sim. Tanks that will later siege for Davo. And Kamikaze, he should take this fight. Yeah, the concave is just a little bit too much, and Kamikaze shuts Davo down. Davo caught out. And that was a big blow for Davo. Big blow to his army. He barely has anything left. They're going for the economy. Catching up more Vikings. It's been impressive that Davo's been able to hold on for as long as he has, but alas, he might not be able to hold on for much longer. Is trying. More tanks sieging up. Again, still a greater Viking count here for Kamikaze. He does pull away. His Vikings are softened up. And Davo just doesn't have the numbers. The base goes down. Not just one. Now we can go for the other. Kamikaze can turn back around and go for another expansion. Davo going for a bit of a Hail Mary play, but he's getting surrounded. The surround is coming in. The Vikings land as well. And GG, well played. Kamikaze will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations. That was a very intense series. Very intense, very back and forth. GG, well played. Kamikaze will take it, will advance on. My condolences to Davo. You know, I'm a little bit biased. You know, that was near and dear to my heart. But a shout out to Kamikaze. He did come in more in form. And it was still a back and forth series. Very chaotic, very intense. Kamikaze did come out. And what I appreciate from Kamikaze, didn't just rely on a mech, also relied on Biotank as well. Here in the final game, I mean, we saw a lot more tank Viking, but still, you know, incorporated, you know, Stim Marines and bio support as well, which I do appreciate. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, Kamikaze will advance on, and the question becomes, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? GG, well played. Just gonna be catching up in the chat. And a shout out to DPS 1974. Oh my god, for the gifted sub to the community. Thank you so much, Papi. Papi Ga. Thank you so much. Lost all my chatter points again. Oh no. The Gamba, Papi, the Gamba. GG. But thank you so much for the gifted sub. We do appreciate it. Do appreciate the support. And we have some updates in the bracket. We have our semifinals. Let's go. As we switch our scenes over, we have our semifinals. We have Eon. Eon took down Cristiano 2-1. Oh my, went to the ace match, went all the way to the ace match. A big shout out to Eon. I was hoping to catch Eon versus Cristiano earlier, but that TVT was a long one, so we missed out on that PVZ. But now we can embrace some Eon with Kamikaze versus Eon in the next round. Let's go. It is going to be in the next round. In the first semifinals. Meanwhile, the lower semifinals are also underway. Do need a moment to check that out as well, as Inexorable takes down Luciano 2-1. Inexorable is in the semis. Again, I did slightly favor him, but went all the way to the ace match against Luciano, so a shout out to Luciano for making that happen and for making that series as close as it was. Likewise, Ryojin takes down Ninja 2-0. Ninja, I believe, was the only American player, the only player from NA. So shout out to Ninja. Shout out to Ninja for representing the region, for representing the North Americans out there. As Ryojin does advance on, and now we have our semifinalists. Let us switch on over. Let us scroll this over here. We have Kamikaze versus Eon and Ryojin versus Inexorable. Now, I believe Inexorable versus Ryojin has already begun. I believe they are being covered by Enki. Let me just double check. Yes, Enki is in the middle of that series. He is covering that, and Inexorable is leading 1-0. 1-0 versus Ryojin, which means we will be jumping into the upper semis. I mentioned before that we were looking to cast both semis if things lined up. Clearly, matches didn't quite line up, so we'll go from one and then the other. Speaking of, oh my, Patty Mac. Big shout out to Patty Mac. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you were able to get accustomed to your new mouse. I think I saw your stream earlier and you were like testing out some new mouse sensitivity question mark. So I hope it went well. Welcome to the American Starcraft Tournament. The American Starcraft Tournament. Welcome. This is mainly a Latin American event. It is an invitational. It is an invitational inviting players at a 5.8k and lower. And the final American player was knocked out, and now it is down to the Latin Americans facing off. But big shout out to Patty Mac. Shout out. Much love. Much love. Much love as we are getting ready here for our next series, getting ready for our upper semifinals. Here we go between Kamikaze and Eon. Here we go. Alright, getting ready. I believe Eon's on license to kill. LTK. We are getting into our next series. We are getting into our next semifinals. Beautiful. It is going to be a ZVT. For the first time, we can cast some Zerg. Oh, let's go. Beautiful. Zerg exists. So Eon versus Kamikaze again. I'm a little bit jealous that we weren't able to cover Eon versus Cristiano earlier. I'm sure it would have been a fun series, but we can at least embrace it here and now on Oceanborn in the semifinals. Let's go. Let us go. If you're in the chat, predictions are about to open up, so you can place your bets on who you think will take the series. Again, we have one player from Brazil. We have the other from Costa Rica. Let's go. Let us go. Tremendo. Here we go. Hello, Pacheca. Hello. Bienvenidos. Ooh. Shout out to not just ourselves, but all the other casters as well. Enki, Pacheca, Art as well. Atecario. It is great to see. And here we go. We're jumping into our semis and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Brazilian Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the Purple Zerg, representing Team License to Kill, LDK. It is Eon. And if you're in the chat, predictions. Predictions are open. Get your gamba going, papi, as you can place your bets on who you think will be our first finalist. Will it be our Zerg or our Terran? Will it be Eon or Kamikaze? Best of luck. As a reminder, the lower semifinals are currently underway. Shout out to Enki. El Hermoso is covering those lower semis. Is going over Ryojin versus Inexorable. Definitely check out Enki's channel if you want to tune into that series. Otherwise, we're focusing on the upper semis. As here we go, Eon is going hatch first. Now, if you're maybe a little bit unfamiliar with our players, we obviously saw Kamikaze earlier. He was embracing mech against Terran, could embrace mech against Zerg. When it comes to Eon, he's an animal. He's an animal. He's very aggressive, very cheesy, very in your face. I don't expect the most standard of play from Eon of all players. I expect him to be hyper aggressive and looking to dictate the pace of the game himself. So we'll keep an eye on Eon more than anything. Which is why, for now, Hatch gas pool. Standard opener from Eon. I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed already here that we're seeing something a little bit more by the book, but we'll see where this takes us. We'll see where Eon leads us. As our SCV is coming back, Kamikaze did confirm the standard opener, is aware, racing back home, and interesting. Okay, Kamikaze skipping the Reaper. Goes Marine first. Marine into Factory. This is going to be a short series. Oh my god, we're popping off. Marine into Factory, no command center. Kamikaze, calm down. It looks like he's going for an all-in, and the Marine will deny the Scout. Big moment, the Scout is denied. And the question becomes, are we going for like an early Hellbat all-in? Reactors on the way for an add-on swap for Hellions. And we'll see if we throw that in an armory. There it is. Add-on swap, Hellion production underway. Very delayed CC here from Kamikaze. So Kamikaze is expanding. This is technically not an all-in, but this is hyper-aggressive. Like, insanely fast. Not Hellion. Cyclone. And we're floating. Mech? What is happening right now? Oh my god. So Kamikaze is going to be hunting down this Overlord, getting high ground vision, of course, with that Rax. And yeah, we're rushing into early game Cyclone production. That's crazy. Now, this could be Cyclone into Hellion or just Cyclone into more Cyclones. I'm curious where we're taking this. Kamikaze, he's lost his mind. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, Cyclone with Hellion to support. And yep, second factory. It is Mech. Meanwhile, it isn't just Kamikaze that's popping off. Eon. 3-minute lair. Very fast lair timing from Eon. 3 minutes is insanely fast. And this could be for a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. This could be for 2-base Muta. This could be for Drop-a-Lord play, as there is a second Overlord across the map. Regardless, aggression. You don't rush into a lair this early on without good reason. I'm leaning towards Ling Queen Nidus all-in, but we'll see. As Cyclones have arrived, Lings are amassing, Ling speed is done. And the Lings are looking for Surround. Cyclones are too far to creep. The Surround! The Surround is coming in, but the Hellions, they come in just in time as well. And can we focus on one of the Cyclones? We can. Cyclone falls, Hellion as well. So does the other. And we're being shut down. Kamikaze gets completely cleaned up. Oh my god. The Marine will barely survive, but reinforcements have arrived as well. And this was a bit of a blundered start for Kamikaze. Cyclones and Hellions are all cleaned up, back at home, building up more Hellions, and there it is indeed Ling Queen Nidus all in. Like, it was one or the other. It was either going to be Nidus or Drop-a-Lords. Like, that's mainly what this is leading towards. So Eon is going for the all-in. Kamikaze has not scattered. He did not spot the lair. Kamikaze's in the dark, diving into the mineral line, ignores the queens. There are Lings to defend, but they're lining up. No! Yeah, the Lings do line up, they get roasted. Yeah, brutal Hellion shots. The Lings go down, but they should be cleaned up before getting 6 drone kills. Oh my god. 6 workers do fall. Overlord into the main. Nidus Storm has been placed. And what do we have to defend at home? What is it to defend? There's Hellions. And only Hellions. And Hellions can be good against Lings. What about Queens? How many Queens do we have? 6. 6 Queens. They're popping out of the Nidus Storm. We're going all in. And Kamikaze, he was caught with his pants down. He was not ready for this. The boys are being pulled away. The Hellion's alone. No, the Hellion goes down. There's 4 more left, though. And we have to be so careful with these Lings. Lings, they pull away. Hellion's got a lot of volleys off. But the Lings are going for the surround. They're trying to collapse on in. A nice movement here with the Hellions. Good use of the SimCity. They create a choke point. Despite that, they get zoned away. The Queens are gaining ground. More Lings are flooding across the map. With the help of these Cyclones, though, we could actually try to hold on. With the help of the creep, yeah, GG, well played. It's just too much damage, and Eon takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. He's crazy. Eon does take the first game. Again, Kamikaze had an interesting start, and he was able to get some damage, but if you remember, the first Cyclone push was a little bit too cavalier. If you remember, the Cyclones, they moved on to creep, too far into creep. Like, the creep is your enemy. When you have Cyclones, they're so vulnerable, so exposed to surround, and Eon was able to surround and collapse on the first 2 Hellions of the first 2 Cyclones as well, taking momentum away from Kamikaze. And then Kamikaze was denied entry into the main. Didn't see the main base, did not scout the lair. If he saw the lair, that would have been enough. Seeing the lair would have been enough to check for, again, either Drop-a-Lords or Nidus Worms. And alas, Kamikaze didn't see it, didn't know to check, was caught with his pants down. The pants were down, Papi. They were down. And now we're jumping into game number 2. And again, it's going to be a fast series. It's going to be a quick one. Okay, we're good. We're jumping in. We're jumping into game 2. It's going to be on Goldenora. Oh no. I was put into the lobby for a moment. Not like this. It's all good. It's all good. Eon is stepping in. He's stepping in. And we're jumping into game 2. Just catching up in the chat. But shout out to Pacheca. Did drop by for a moment there. But Pacheca is also casting, I believe. Also casting, also covering the event in Spanish. Much love. I mean, American Starcraft Tournament is as creative as Korean Starcraft. True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yo, you have a problem with the name of this tournament? That means you have a problem with the KSL, with the Korean Starcraft League. True. True. Let's go. Descriptive, but creative as a bowl of lint. Ah, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Is Kamikaze from Brazil? Yes, yes. See. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Goldenora, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Eximius Gaming, down in this series. But can he bring it back? Can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player from the land of Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill. It is Eon. Here we go. Hatch first. It is hatch first to begin with, but remember what I said before. Eon is not a macro player. He's an animal. And we love him. We love him. But he is hyper aggressive. He's very cheesy. All-ins are what he does best. And we could be seeing that again here in game 2. And even if we do, it's not going to be the same thing. We saw Link Queen Nidus in game 1. We shouldn't see that again. We could see something different like 2-base Muta. We could see a Roach all-in with a Roach Rush with Link Speed. We have options. Eon does have options, and it's on Kamikaze to recognize what's going on. I appreciate that Kamikaze was opening up aggressively previously, but I feel like against Eon, you need to... I feel like scouting is paramount. I feel like scouting is the most important thing when playing against Eon. I'm sure Kamikaze is familiar. I'm sure they both face off on the NA ladder. I'm sure they do. So we'll see how Kamikaze does approach things this time. As it is a Reaper. Remember, last game it was a Marine opener into a faster factory. This time, Rax Expand, Reaper opener. Standard play out of Kamikaze. With this, he will have a way to scout across the map, to get a read on what's going on, and get a feel for what Eon is up to. Let's go. See you in the chat. Given how often SC2 players get caught with their pants down, maybe they should start all wearing dresses. Oh no. True. I think it was said yesterday or the day before, like, they can't catch you with your pants down if you're not wearing pants. You're not wrong. Or they could start wearing belts. Or suspenders. Suspenders. Ah. They have options. They have options. For now, Reaper rotating around, gets eyes on the third hatchery. So far so good. Hatch gas pool into a third base. Everything looks standard. Everything looks normal for the time being. Meanwhile, Kamikaze, third CC before starport. Economic build from our Terran player. Bold move is what I will say. I feel like against Eon, I'm not opposed to going for a starport before CC. This is a little bit greedier. There it is! 3-minute lair. Just like the last game, 3-minute lair here from Eon. Actually, this is a couple seconds later, to be fair. It is a couple seconds later compared to the previous game. And this could be Nidus, this could be Dropalord. If we take extra gases, this could be Muta play. But the Reaper will scout. Big moment here for Kamikaze. This time, he knows. Whew. Okay. This time, Kamikaze is aware of the fast lair. And now in his mind, he's got like a checklist. He's got a list of things that could be, and he has to cross them off to piece together what's going on. The easy one, of course, is making sure no vision in the main, making sure overlords don't get close enough. now Hellions moving out. Eon is droning. Now, Eon knows he got scouted. Bear that in mind. Eon knows he got scouted, so he could try to take a different approach. Eon could try to drone instead. Hellion dips in, once again going for another dive, but the Hellion, is denied the scout. Lair is done. What do you have for us? Oh, it's gonna be Dropper Lords. Okay, let's go. Now, this is not a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. This is a Ling Queen Dropper Lord all-in. Or you could call it a German taxi. it's a variation of German taxi, because here come the Dropper Lords. They're on the way. The Dropper Lords are morphing in. Queens are getting ready. Overlord speed is halfway done, and we're going for a massive all-in across the map. Now, Kamikaze making Vikings. Good read. I'm pretty sure he's making Vikings just to shut down the Overlords, just to make sure in case it was Nidus Worm, like, we'd shut them down. So the Vikings, they will have, they'll be multi-purpose to shut down the Overlords and potentially the Dropper Lords as well, as the Overlords are on the way. And Kamikaze, he's not fully aware of what's going on, but he's hunting down the close-by Overlords. Overlords are being cleaned up. Second factory, he's meching it up. Oh, he's playing mech. Now, the big concern here, because he's playing mech, we barely have any units. Barely any Hellions, barely any Marines. We have so few units to defend. This is risky. Risky play here at a Kamikaze. Greedy play, maybe the better way of putting it. Because here come the Dropper Lords. Vikings are spotted. The Vikings are out of position. They spot Overlord speed. That should be a tell. Overlord speed is a big tell. The Vikings are not here. Tank volley is going off. We break down the wall. The wall has been broken. The Queens, they drop in. The boys are being pulled. The tank gets surrounded. And can we focus on the tank? The repairs are too good. They're not good enough. Repairs are not good enough. The tank falls. And we're getting control of the mineral line. We're getting control of the natural base. Oh, the bunker does not go down, though. The repairs are helping, but the bunker finally falls. We get 20 SCV kills, and we have control of the natural. There's one tank on the high ground, 2 tanks on the high ground, and Kamikaze can defend the main. But what about the natural? The natural is forfeit. Queens have to back up, and we just pick up. We don't even pick up. From here, Eon can drone. Does he drone, or does he commit? More Lings are flooding across the map. Ooh, Queen does go down. The wall's open! No! The wall is open! The wall is wide open. Lings, they flood in! Boys are being pulled. The tank's forced to one siege. Hellion goes down. The tanks survive. That was a brutal moment there. The wall is now back up and running. Eon is backing up. And again, now is the time to drone. As Lings are being cleaned up, Eon is going to be able to spread a tumor. Oh! The tumor is shut down. Queen falls as well. Pick up, Papi. Get out of here. No. Eon is not droning, by the way. Like, now would be the time. There we go. There we go. Spire is on the way. So it's going to be the initial Ling Queen Dropper Lord all in into Spire play, into Mutas. Gases are being taken. Spire has been thrown down. Eon is going to be droning up a little bit and then embracing Muta play, which I think works well here. Because of the composition, because of the attempted mech, Tank Hellion doesn't shoot up. Does not shoot up. We have some Vikings, but not too many. And we're not going to make too many either. Ling's going for the dive. The Overlord does see the tanks. The tanks are exposed. And the tanks are going down. We get 1, we get 2, we're going to get 3. Meanwhile, across the map, Hellions are moving out. Now, even though we, like, these things, they trade well. They get tanks, they deny the expansion. But do we have anything to defend back at home? We don't. The Hellions are going to roast up the mineral lines. Drones are falling. The drones are lining up, and there's nothing to defend. The Queens, they cannot keep up. They try to, but the Hellions, they don't care. They just walk past the Queens. And the Hellions, how many drones can they get? 8 worker kills so far. Not bad. Get 8 drones. Diving into the main. There's another Queen. Oh, they get a full scout. The Hellions, they spot the Spire. And that means now we can make Vikings. Now Kamikaze has the sign to make anti-air. Viking production, Cyclone production, eBay's on the way for turrets as well. Big scout here for Kamikaze. That was how many? That was 8 drone kills. Not bad. 8 drones, a full scout as well, forcing out Lings. And these Mutas, can they get work done? Back at home, we have, how much anti-air? We have 3 Cyclones, a Viking, Widow Mines on the way, just anything and everything that shoots up. And at this point, I would not be opposed to Eon droning and throwing down a Roach Warren, and just trying to get into a standard game of Roach Ravager. For now, here come the Mutas. Mutas, they dip into the main, going for the add-ons. They will pick off 1 Cyclone, trading 1 for 1. Cyclone for a Muta. Second Muta goes out the white shot. Oh my god. Doesn't go off, but 2 more mutas go down. That's 3 in total. Ay, ay, ay. 3 muta kills. Not like this. Eon has to pull away. Likewise, at the same time, Lings, they hit the natural. There's nothing here! No! There's nothing in position. There's Widowmines on the ramp. Oh, don't force friendly fire. Oh, no. Okay, thankfully, the Widowmine shots don't go off. Only one does, but 7 SCVs fall. The Link Flood gets a lot done. Can we drag a mine? Not quite. Not quite. Thankfully. Kamikaze does hold, he does defend. Now what's terrifying is that Kamikaze is slowly catching up in the worker count. Eon has been making a lot of Lings. He's been making a lot of Lings, and that has been eating into his drone count. He is not even saturated on 3 bases. Eon, we need to drone. We need to drone up at least a little bit. Muta's dipping in. Nice shots! Oh my god, massive connections. There's how many? 2 mutas going down. But I believe Hurricane Engines was denied. That is Cyclone Speed. As Kamikaze is embracing Battle Mech. And Hurricane Engines has to be restarted, has to be rebuilt. Eon pulling away. Now it's starting to drone up. Getting up to a decent economy, and there's the Roach Warren. Roach Warren's on the way. Again, we should be building up towards Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Like, that should be the army that Eon's working towards, and we're getting there. But it's been a very chaotic game. Like, it's not been a clean game, Pappy. We're all dirty. So here we go. Kamikaze taking his 3rd. Going for his linear 3rd base. Cyclones are keeping up with the mutas. Again, Hurricane Engines is still quite a ways away. It's almost halfway done. And Eon has drawn up to just under 3 base saturation. Not a bad drone count. It's okay. Just under 3 base saturation. And now we have roaches. We have 18 roaches in production. Eon, even though personally I would love to see Eon just get up to 4 base economy. Get up to 73 drones, take up into an infestation, into Hive, and just max out. Instead, Eon, it's just against his nature, Papi. Eon, everything within him tells him to attack. That's just the kind of player he is, and he's built up quite an army, and he's moving out. Eon is moving out, is now throwing down Infestation Pit, is starting to take up, but again, the drone count is still, you know, at 3 base saturation, just under. Roaches do move out across the map. Roach speed is almost done. From this point, we can morph in some Ravagers, and the army is spotted. Important scout by Kamikaze, he needs tanks. Upon seeing this army, he does need tanks. Less so Cyclone. And here we go, tanks are on the way, Thor as well. Mutas once again punished. Oh my god. The Mutas are zoned away. Eon rotating in towards the left-hand side. He's going for the tanks! He commits to the dive! The mine shots are baited out, and the tanks are going down. Who needs Ravagers? We just get on top of the tanks anyway, and GG, well played. Good luck gets called as Eon snowballs out of control and will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Eon will take the series, will advance on to the grand finals. Congratulations. My condolences to Kamikaze. He did play well, making it here to the semis. But again, Eon is a very chaotic player. He's very aggressive. He's very cheesy. And Kamikaze had a really hard time getting a read on what was going on. I do like Kamikaze's adaptation in Game 2. Remember, Game 2, he was able to scout, able to confirm the lair, and it did look like Kamikaze assumed it was going to be Nidus. That's why the Vikings were hunting down the overlords that were, you know, getting vision of the bases. But unfortunately, because of that, wasn't ready for the actual all-in for the Dropperlords, for the Ling Queen Dropperlord all-in, so it wasn't quite ready for that. Was once again caught with his pants down at the natural, and Eon took advantage of him. Eon wasn't able to kill his opponent, but did cripple Kamikaze in that natural base, and from there was able to drone up somewhat, able to get into the mid game, able to snowball from there. GG, well played. GG, well played. Congratulations, Eon does advance on to the grand finals, and the question becomes, Inexorable and Ryojin, what has been going on there? What has... Oh, okay, we have a result coming in. Shout out to Enki, by the way. Enki was casting in Spanish, and oh, it looks like Enki shout out to Enki. Does give Artegario a raid. Did end up raiding Artegario, and did cover the lower semifinals. Ryojin takes down Inexorable 2-1. That's I would say a bit of an upset. That's crazy. Bit of an upset there, but GG, well played. Ryojin takes down Inexorable, and that means we have our finals. We have our grand finals. Switching our scenes over here, so we can have a look at the bracket together. And there it is, Eon in the finals and Ryojin in the finals. It's gonna be a ZVZ best of 5. Oh boy. It is going to be a ZVZ. And let us set that up. Un momento. Here we go. It's going to be a ZVZ. Also, I need to confirm. I need to double check something. Ryojin, I keep thinking he's from Bolivia. Is he from Bolivia? Or am I thinking of someone else? I'm double checking. I don't want to be wrong. How do we know? Okay, yes, he is the Bolivian Zerg player. I was second guessing myself. I was like, there aren't that many Bolivian players, and I know that Facebook is Bolivian, and I just kept thinking that Ryojin was, but I know that there's another player that has a similar name to Ryojin, and I was not the most confident, but yes, okay, we have the Bolivian Zerg up against the Costa Rican Zerg player. Let's go. We still remember. Even though it's been years since I've casted Ryojin. It's been a long time. Been a long time. Here we go. So we do need a moment to set this up. Vetoes are underway as we speak. I believe predictions were paid out. And beautiful. We are getting ready. Just catching up in the chat. The Bolivia, let's go. So I'm just catching up with the chat. The wall wasn't a wall. It was not a wall. Was not. We're not here for clean games. True. We like it dirty. Hello, young All-Star. Hello. Vivo en misma ciudad de Carlos. Ryojin. Oh. Cool. That's really cool to hear. It's really cool to hear. Fleshman is just letting us know that he lives in the same city as Ryojin. Good to hear. Shout out to Ire in the chat as well. El Casero. Good to see you. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Perdí una contra Ryojin. Sí. Shout out to Ire. Ire was also competing today in the tournament. Was also competing. Thank you for the tournament stream. Yes, shout out to, not myself, shout out to the Latin American community. Shout out to Artegario and all the others, of course, for making this occur. I'm only casting, I'm not organizing it myself. I'm just, I just reached out as a caster to cover it in English. So shout out to all those working behind the scenes to make this event a reality. And not just this event, but all the others that they do organize that I'm hoping to cover in English as well. I've been watching from afar. For those who don't know, the Latin American community has been hosting these fun what's the best way of putting it, these fun like show matches where they bring on like a Korean player, like Dark or Sue or some of these other big names, and they have like some fun like matches against them where they have like 4v1s or 3v1s, like Archon mode, like multiple players versus multiple players, like SE Evo as well. They put these players through the ringer, and of course they get compensated for it, but they've been having like these like fun, more community related events. And it's been really cool to see. It's only been casted in Spanish as of yet, but hopefully we can bring it to you in English as well. Hopefully. As it looks like our players are asking for a break. Understandable, both Eon and Ryojin, they are a little bit tuckered out. It's been a very intense series. a very intense tournament. So they're asking for a break. They're asking for a break. Understandable. But yeah, hopefully next time we get to cast Ire. Shout out to Ire. I haven't casted Ire before, so hopefully next time. La próxima, la próxima. And once the videos are ready, once the videos are done, then we'll be jumping into the grand finals. We'll be jumping in. Players just asking for a moment. Un momento, un momento. Tremendo juego, sí, sí. Tremendo. But I guess until then, we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have our best of 5. We'll have our grand finals. Again, after a long tournament, our players are asking for a couple of minutes. We're more than happy to oblige. So we'll be back soon with those finals. Until then, take this moment to hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, drain your disruptors, get some snacks, get some food, and get ready for the finals. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, I hope you enjoyed that short break in the Brutal OC as we returned with the grand finals of the American Starcraft Tournament. It's been an intense event so far with all these players coming in, invited of course, and now we're down to two. Now we're down to two Zerg players from Latino America here in a best of 5 grand finals. Oh boy, I know it's getting quite late in the lands of the Latin Americas, so they are a little bit tired, a little bit exhausted, but we're still going to be jumping on in, and we'll see who will be crowned our champion tonight. Who's it going to be? As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Zerg player from the land of Bolivia, representing Infernales Esports. It is Ryojin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player from the land of Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill, LDK, going for a gas first. It is Eon. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Get your gamba going. Place your bets on who you think will come out on top, as we have a very aggressive build, 14-14, out of Eon, rushing into gas, rushing into fast link speed, or fast spawning pool into fast link production, and we'll see how Ryojin responds. Now again, as I mentioned before, Eon has a reputation. Eon does have a reputation. He's known for being hyper aggressive, hyper all in your face at all moments, at all times. Ryojin, does he know this? Is he familiar with his opponent? Because we're going to be rushing to really fast link speed, potentially banelings as well. We have options. Eon does have options here with how he wants to approach this, with how he does invest. But I imagine Ling Bane is what we're going for. Here we go. Lings are on the way. Gas is still being mined from. Bearing in mind we have not pulled out of gas, so it is going to be Lings and Banelings. And we'll see if Ryojin can survive the aggression of Eon. We shall see, as it is going to be a standard hash gas pool opener. Now, because of this, Ryojin will have to pull the boys. We'll have to try and defend quite well here. We'll see if he can hold on to the natural. If he gives up on the natural, goes to the main base instead. Oh. Ooh, as our players are playing on US Central, I hope that that's the map that, sorry, the server they're meant to play on. They're on Central. I know typically Latin Americans play on US East. I know that's slightly better for most players. So hopefully everything's okay. Yeah, so everything's okay on my end. But here we go. Lings have arrived. Baneliness is in production here for Eon. Link speed is on the way. And the goal is to break the natural and get even more damage than that. Ryojin saving his drone. Hatchery under fire. Queens are on the way. Lings are coming out. And we'll see if Ryojin can defend that natural base. We'll see if he can hold on. So far, so good. Banelings are in production. Banelings are on the way for Eon. Oh. Spine Crawler being thrown down, but it's going to finish up quite late even. We'll see. We'll see if we can hold it. It's going to come down to the Baneling connection. It's going to come down to control of our players. Banelings are rolling in. Banelings, they do rock up. Lings get surrounded. Banelings are targeted. Ooh, one Baneling goes off, and we go for the queens. We get a surround. We get one queen, and we're going to get the other as well. Both queens go down. The Spine Crawler, it's not going to finish. And we're holding on to that Baneling. We're not wasting it. We're waiting for those Lings to spawn in. And behind this, Eon is still making Lings. He's still flooding across the map. He busts down that Spine Crawler, busts into the main base. And again, we don't want to waste a Baneling. GG. GG gets scored. It's just too much, and Eon will take the game. GG. Again, Ryojin, unfortunately, it looked like he didn't realize that it was an early gas. Otherwise, the Spine Crawler would have been started a lot sooner in the main base. Likewise, some players consider it a little bit easier to just give up on the natural. If you're up against a 13-12 or a 14-14 like this, just give up on the natural base, give up on the expansion, and defend the ramp, as you have both queens, so you can wall up on the ramp, defend on one base, and sure, you might end up losing your hatchery, but remember, because of the aggressive build of Eon, he was down in drones. He was down in workers, down in drones, then you can survive, you can counterattack, you can get into the swing of things from there. Again, Ryojin did, it looks like, misread his opponent. Did look like it. And with that, GG. GG well played. Eon takes the first game. Takes the first game. I can't imagine we're going to be seeing more 13-12s or more aggressive openers. Again, it was a 14 initial spawning pool. Sorry, 14 gas, even. But we'll see where our players take it from here. As we're getting ready for game number 2. Getting ready for game number 2 here. And I believe game 2 is going to be on Alkyone. Much larger map this time. Much larger map. And I'm hoping we can actually get into the mid-game. I'm hoping we can get into a back and forth. I'm hoping at least. We'll see. As our players are getting ready. Ooh. Again, I don't think Ryojin was able to really showcase his skill and showcase his prowess in that last game. But that's how unforgiving ZVZ can be. Can be unforgiving. And it looks like we are jumping on in. We're going to have to count this time. It's okay. We'll have to count. Won't have WCS game heart. It's all good. Here we go. We're jumping into that second game here. Again, it's still best of 5, so plenty of games to work with, plenty of room to maneuver as well. Even though Ryojin may have taken a loss in game 1, can afford, a loss here and there, and can, of course, recover mid-series. I want to hope he can. Do you want to hope? As we are jumping into Alkyone. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Bolivian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Infernales Esports down in this series, looking to bounce back. It is Ryojin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Red Zerg player from Costa Rica, representing Team License to Kill, LTK, leading the series 1-0. It is Eon. Here we go. Again, it was an explosive start to game 1. We'll keep an eye on the gas timings of Eon in game number 2. We'll see if he once again opens up aggressively. I do think it's ill-advised to go for an earlier gas timing here on Alkyone just because the map is much larger. And here we go, hatch first. It's going to be hatch first by Eon, likewise hatch first from Ryojin as well. So both players opening up with their faster hatcheries into their gases, into their spawning pools. Much more standard openers here from Eon and Ryojin. We're settling in. This time we're going to have more of a back and forth. There we go, gas now being taken. Interesting. Ryojin going for a pool before gas. Okay. So hatch pool gas. A bit of a safer opener here from Ryojin. A little bit safer. This does mean early on there is a slight lead for Eon, as he will have slightly faster link speed and slightly faster banelings as a result, depending on how crispy you want it to be. Meanwhile, Ryojin will have slightly faster queens instead. Only by like a second or two. Like it's fine. It's fine. It's just slight variations. And I'm curious to see if either player does embrace 2-base play. Again, I'm not too fond of that on this map either. We should just be seeing a third into the mid-game, into more macro back and forth. Keep an eye on our players. Ryojin getting into his initial link production, 4 links on the way. On the way for Ryojin. Likewise across the map, Eon still droning. Interesting. Eon being greedy here. And if you notice, not making any links at all. 0 link production for Eon, just making queens. And Eon has not started link speed. 2-base. Okay. Eon is playing 2-base. He should be walling off here with a Roach Horn, with an Evo Chamber, with a Queen as well, and teching into Roaches or teching into Mutas. There is no way to expand. There's no way for Eon to hold on to this third. So there it is, we're walling up. Eon is going to be walling up instead and saving this gas either for a fast lair or for fast roaches. Meanwhile, Ryojin does confirm. Behind this, he should be cancelling this Baneling Nest. 3rd base is on the way. Basically, this Baneling Nest has no purpose. Because Eon is skipping link speed, and there's that lair and Roach Horn. But because Eon is skipping link speed and going into Roach production, it does mean that spending gas on this Baneling Nest, it's not really worth it and doesn't really add much value here. Keeping the Bailey Nest is a little bit safer. It means that if Eon was faking a Ling Flood, then Ryojin would be okay. But alas, we can see that's not the case. We can see that Eon is just throwing down his second Evo chamber, walling up, getting into roaches, and now this could be the beginning of a 2-base all-in. This could be Eon just moving out on 2 bases, or he could just open 2 base and take a later third and then drone. There are options. So Eon could just go for a later third base off of roach play. As roach production has begun, Lair now finishing up, going straight into roach speed. Likewise, Ryojin throwing down his own roach horn, again making safety banelings that they aren't quite necessary, but again just really safe play for Ryojin. It does look like he's afraid of a Ling Flood. So just being hyper safe. Meanwhile, both players are droning up. Again, Ryojin, his advantage is his faster third, which means a more larva, which means more droning. And better saturation. And here we go, Eon now expands and takes a third. And we can see that Eon is still droning up. So again, he's just slowly expanding, slowly getting to a base. Ryojin has the opportunity to try to cancel this expansion. Lings are moving out. He can apply some pressure, but canceling the expansion, I don't think there are enough Lings to pull that off quite yet. Yeah, they nibble away at the base. Roaches respond. And Eon should be okay. Does save the expansion.